Adepa fatami. Adepa fatami yo. 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 Adepa fatami. Adepa fatami yo.
Hey, get away from there! Okay, who's on family? What Jama? Bible time change in the corner. I know it's in the corner. I don't know how to do for me. It's because I have a papa cow. I have a papa cow. Yeah? 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 That's it. Why ready? I have a papa cow.
Adepa fatami. Adepa fatami yo. 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 Adepa fatami. Adepa fata ya wapiti. Adepa fatami. Adepa fata ya wapiti. Adepa fata ya wapiti. Adepa fatami yo. Adepa fata ya wapiti. Adepa fatami yo. Adepa fata ya wapiti. Adepa fatami yo. Adepa fatami. 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 Adepa fatami. Adepa fatami. Adepa fatami.
Hey! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Kalomika! Hey! Sese Galosha! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Our Samu! Hey! Our Jila! Hey! Our Samu! Hey! Our Jila! Hey! Our Samu! Hey! El Avila! Hey! El Avila! Hey! El Avila! Hey! Avila Taji! Hey! Avila Taji! Hey! Avila Taji! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Kefila! Hey! Yakubi. Mapai. That's what you go find you. El Avila! Hey! El Avila! Hey! Who's on the move? Shagadimu! Shagadimu! I tell you, Shagadimu! Shagadimu! I'm sure. How do you want to eat? What be any man say? You can't buy bosom. You won't sing. I have it. And the perfume, so much perfume, mommy. May the best for a me man for. Would be young some. No man, I will 30 minutes. I can't tell my own fan count them and look at the cat. 30 minutes, a young year. Was a rather mammy, can let it say. That's it, young man. So could be a damn some years. Now, bring me, mammy, so I get chat for young one. Men you couple and do some one do talk. But I have why, madam? Papa doesn't know be a madam. This is the perfume. Yeah, they fra amiano. Wait, very expensive perfume. I know they fra amiano. And they are normal. Would you come on some for 30 minutes? Who counts anymore? Who counts anymore? I say, Fabra. It is because of this. That is why I traveled. Wait. I didn't wait to Kakashek and invite him and come and go. I wanted a chance to get it. Or say a Siamania desert Namia. Also, Miss Mia Concon, Kakra, to be Busan, I didn't see a meeting go some Puania and desert. Was in Puanonia Yakotor, the Guatiti, the Silver Goes on the Zogona Cotajaya. Contested. He does it via Shadako baby, Yantam fat. And you keep webby. Sabaya Batun Sundia Winya Bientino, Upiamada Tuesday. Winning the Intia Tuesday, get prepare because Tuesday on a good over that day, it is rest assured and Yadi on the Bema Bedana, no Babada. Said with my son, maybe Yuma. You are contributing what you will take a month for better. I didn't tell. Someone other sentinel warn some. It attracts money. Sister, Ninyan the beautiful. Me person can have say, come by ye, a Jacoja members who beer kutan right. Your pulse will no beer to the car. No being count as a seven children say, my left look at me, carry my man. The person bring ye till ye. Who did tell me Yabreno? Me birthday. The birthday bell was some for me chamat yet. That's also me a crying man for following ye ya. Sounds to become comfort to come to crony ma. Every guy on forum. A young year beer in the yard here. You are near the yard here. And then get it. 1980. The Arabians were nobody. They were just nomads. They were living on the desert. They had nothing. But look at today. They are one of the richest people in the world. Why? They were able to utilize their sand. Did you want them? I didn't get one name and the other people. She obeyed their whole culture and their mother father. I didn't hear. And Sana Abraham, the Mibishan, was if you were a new field. Never can I so call my father. My first is never on fire. What is that for never on fire? One sometimes also yes, I shall the Bible so many on the way, and stress on the desert so because on the hair. I'm not just the Pele Jacuno. Bible saw the name of stress. Legend can cause stress. And there is something in this. The people was happy with him. Wait. The man sabi be crabby. Was a growth on a common farmer. And you'll be a quanchero. And you say, muhu. A 2 pages as a great Yankopon. Mammy Sika. And yet, it's sad, you meet me kind. Meet me a day. Mexican, you know, some. To grow P.S. a church means some be a fellow. Usikaka Tokrobama, Ogafele. Mais tu Tokrobama, c'est Ogafele. Soit tu le fais, ou c'est Tokro, mais nous, quand on fait le Sam Tokro. Soit on va quand on s'en va tout Tokro, il y a aussi Tokro. Tu vas dire, il y a better sleep over. And I do know you're Vietnam. You're ready, what damn my diachi? A bond now, I have started Bible. I bought for a number break. We are connected at 3. Yes, I will use you. Number 6 after we are moving. Because this is the last program I hear. December, I hear. Sorry. If you are growing, you sorry. And you are here. Yeah, December 26, 25, 26, yeah, sorry. If you are here, I'm here 31st all night.
na kodi akele me hataiko me eswatele nu apakunikia nekeke hana spirit man ninja keke kwara keduna be kofi atoni ke heti kiswa hasheka ne parauta eske hezi
ready abofa sani fianya
ka handu ale meputa le karuto e makaiko ke ana matuske hezi ni farute e karuna masada osime dinana kufadu akna kunyane suwi me poro pedinga riato ni meke yatuka oso biere ni wo betu metu akufadu me
so na kasaro
ile ke e kurikere na tu ala ke e to le mahata na skeke heda ka ame atwa mi ata oso benye juma na ni din Kwame Nkrumah din be pepa na ni din ene beteshi wiase afena make lo abaloka belekega ha wase me be di sunsun nyini cha ne abono na hwan na so obewu me ekereke hatere le hoto ma to ka do nyame to ene de mashoki wase masani wo asafo ano na mato achene na me so abofo pempem sa wo mo mese wo asafo ano wase kai me kelike aporo ko limiti ekele ku na me to ko mara baka wase hwe me de na traso obiara ni wo me de na traso kiri kiyama wase munti ane no na sa nene kasa kire mo a ene mu behu wase mu mie mani we e wo sunsun mu wase hwe enye honam ene de ya juma yesu ye di sunsun ne ya juma agere keko na ku ala ku ma na yakaba ni de ele mo toba wase ma pega makoa ni pentimi se no ma pega makoa ni pentimi se no ama ko be kele ka ba ayesa me ki ya ka ba me no ko re spirit no etene itanki ya puni ataiki ni ka ni akuna masaita leina abofo me yansa ejiro man Ghana na me hu so mo pia mu no kunti sensuo na o ma pia mu no kunti sensuo na to atwene me ka bandi atala o si biere ni ho o se me de enkodi esi o man Ghana o se free na kwai ni pa biere ni ho obetima hyankom so obebewu obewu me kan ju abalaba inda tu nei me keria tu ni o so biere ni ho obetima hyankom sa obebewu Transform I Kumase online TV. Me say, Papa we there, that bia no. Ni de ehu, o ma meka one way asemo. Every week bia, o say abofo na de ne adwuma pa. All of a sudden na ye kasa se sie no. Abofo na asasane de ma, wa hyen koma fam wa wuti de wuti. Ye se akunya ne ato awie. Enno ka che me say, abato ne ato ne sunsun awie. Na ne abofo ne befa ne so aka de wadi akunya no. Ene waka o Monday yaso ne to aba no papa ye nto aso
Money ewiase han
munu ewiase han
da be poso ntumi hinta
kwa da be poso ntumi hinta
na oso kane a emfa hye kodo ase
na ye so kane a emfa hye kodo ase
na emom isi kane ewiase
kai na kikia na emom
odi si kane
ewiase ma hye
ma ona wa da ni na
ona mo wa da ni na Biye dia bato man Ghana so wate na nipa biere ni wo betima se o man Ghana e ka tirawo brother na no kabu so samje o man no wala wori hu na ni monyam mini awradio na ma hye nkom dia bam hwa me de me mununkum ni ma ye nyom meto moto ha me frɛ mununkum ja se me di machi ni moman asumdie baba mo ba tuwa ba no na so bi hu kada mo betete nsam kakra Eso noso sunsun ne kasa no mapam sunsun na wa be so hye ma jago my Ghana so no mapam no na me de sundia atom so e ma musuro se mera na me kasa wonku na obi ere ntimi kasa wakum no me na me ma nkwa ni pensem na wa me awrade nsem ne de no e dene me de me nkwa abotre de mama wo na me de me nkwa abotre ma o Ghana na ma show man Ghana ye nyom me de me to ban to ba boy ne na mo ba te me sa me pon na ma benbai ene ma ye nyom na ma perform pempem e be biom no so beti ye nyom ma sane me kunim dia ato man Ghana so amen ka ni pa bi o shan kompone ma tuna ne nareka
Hello, if you are still sleeping, wake up. This is Qatar, 1 billion. You understand?
Watching about.
Yeah, Qatar, 1 billion. You can't say 100,000. You can't say.
Watching what's happening?
Qatar. You can't say
1 billion.
100,000. You can't say 100. You can't say 100,000. Yeah, Qatar. Hello.
And a ball.
Yes,
100,000.
Yes, Qatar. Are you kidding me? I think I have to buy. Hello, if you are still sleeping, wake up. This is Qatar, 1 billion. You understand?
Watching about.
Yeah, Qatar, 1 billion. You can't say 100,000. You can't say.
Watching what's happening?
Qatar. You can't say
1 billion.
100,000. You can't say 100. You can't say 100,000. Yeah, Qatar.
And a ball.
Hello.
And a ball.
Yes,
100,000.
Yes, Qatar. Are you kidding me? I think I have to buy.
abusuafo etia obi a nyame nka ho na ene so de akyɛ ne yɛba bedi ahyia mu yɛde onyankopɔn te asefo na ene numei ene Thursday 17th of February 2022 the year of our Lord ene Thursday yes uhwemu a February so apɛ mu pepepe Americana na yɛkɔ no so Americana na yɛkɔ hello 1 billion Kofi Adomaso toda no hu obufu o say wo so watch the friend saying o say kate no so the boy saying o say 1 billion Kofi twetwe ne pa kate 1 billion o say ene wi ase na ye wono ebi mu fi say sabi ahonya de na ma omo eye nipa. I don't blame them. Africa holiday sanity sabi o car wo drive efi a wasi adwuma kakra bi a wo ye so wonya nya car kakra bi na wo dem popochwa bi obi afi so wis kani nti bibia na etimi saline ni aba ho ni aba be pesca so ai den every ho so okay men check me inbox on okay all right honorable Nyamecha Bani me yesa yeti no any kind and aba be talking about the importance of making love, that is the importance of sex. Last week, yes, our program exactly today's week. Course pa menya. Hey, Uncle for bro. Hello. Hello. Hey, Uncle for sofa pa. Na minim sao. In fact, many yourself bro be so to me who. Sa, ono so no, wonya course ni bi. Hello, the importance of making love. Oh, hey. And I'm saying no, we are part 2. I just say part 3, part 4 because I didn't know them. Into say nyabotre na yen rashi near tuyabo near cancer asem we wasem. On say subject be a so form and I Christopher fee so be 2 holy do. On tino mon time ni sound komo we unyaka sex pe ubia hell. Inti ntiniama bebre ase. But a very important subject. Me sure make actually say. Pastor Eric, I sent you the link da. Into the my mom misakra na me send it in the check inbox. Abusha for so na o hwesa ade mo share na broadcasting nko so. Na hu kire say as a pastor na me was sorry. Na me hwe me ni nipa ye adwuma. Aware asem bebre amaka about 90% of aware na anye ye na entokwa wo mu pa no namu asem. And you cannot take it for granted. So because say oh we dey enye spiritual enye spiritual sa ensem no say medical culture say onyame wo reason why ntia wo de netie de ye wo no humiku mu ma be ye okra tiasefo okra for now emotions now the adwuma. God has a reason. And men can say usuo be Christoni. And therefore you have stopped being a human being. You are still a human being. We are limited. Into na bewudakro. Into the Bible also say no me enka do ode ne ho tu nipa so. It will be biara ode ne ho tu nipa. So we are archbishop. Also we are one eminent. We are president. We are spiritual hot. We are pope. We are wine. We are Christoni. Now also do ho to say nipa so a no me enka. Ye be ka do nyame aka. Yintimi enka be different. Nti e kire wo musa na wo te ase na wo de adwuma na be yinhyirama so eti no mesra pa bomodin a nti ase nti be talk about the importance of sex meji wadwen kire wo ha nsem ni bi wa ye be kan be ya wanwa kakra but ye be koso ane aka e very important eti no bi won fi say ye awkward subject e sex de o kan wasem e unholy munya sanse buru munya e unholy en so ne kasa be no adipa any ade papa enyina free urade nkyɛn ne bae abra your friend is saying abra Adam ohu Eve no ɔhwɛ ni padua saa ɔse ai memfi mu mpane nie ai ɔhwɛ na nim dis ɔse wow This is the bone of the bone and the flesh of my flesh. So that's it. Apostle Jacob Pony may train. It's in the way who's Apostle Jacob Pony last week of Basso at the moment all Casano. Mom, the we are not just say and just I was remember that is awful.
Oh, Yamiatum, sorry.
Was awful be able to
Yamiatum, me where pa, Methiopia.
Oh, they pass us or so, and then the power.
Son, and then your interrogation.
Your interrogation. Any patch of moon share broadcasting on not broadcasting and calling him. Won't share, yeah, in fact, any views no from. Click on the share button, invite friends and family to come and join us and have this wonderful discussion. My name is Drew Baby Sukranak. I'll put the link there. Will be a person join you, be a smith, maybe join it. Niakasaka crack. And the Babu Modian say Becas and Tentem. So, Modiana share broadcasting. So, subscribe to LMLS. So, and then your first time, Abaha, with all respect, we welcome you to our honorable platform. Yami Sharpae and Sose, who do have about LMLS. Abusia Kuno, I had the say let my light shine. Then for what time and nante? Or time be any yen time will be a we are say. Nemuno, ye see a bedino cre, near cano cre, ye the amenyame. Yasemin, I know. Ye dino cre, near cano cre, e the amenyame. It ye no cre no so ekamuno. It me woni pebia, boniwo won team, no more transition, some of them tro, nenda da, at the best say Ghana ma. Eti ye no krane ba e wo saafo no ye no krane so ne toda ye bodini bi ne ehwe ne ye bi obi ye efi se sabi ye zombies sabi omo na nyansa wo mutrim to metimi the Bible ene honhom arora pontro no mo de abe present a kire yen ne ya gia tum da bi ye nye ne sa ye woti eti ne wo de ye adwuma enti therefore no ye be pese ye be disansem we hu ye fancy ye be di no kre e wo ye platform yi so etimi hwe obi a wo so ye soft nenso wo ye charlatan ye kan etimi sisa ankofo ne sa but ye mfa ho pachoti ase ye mfa ho kra ye bo obi di se Benny Hinn omineti wo ye ni party se wow ye di die ma no so wo ye panyini ye di die ma no so ye nyame adwuma but so dane free nyame adwuma na o ye ho no o de ntro ene basabasa ye ene ndada ebewura mu dia ene ye wo ho kwan se be ka kire Benny Hinn say papa wo ye panyini entwantro die wonim nyansa na be ka se wo ye Benny Hinn ti men kana se na de Benny Hinn se bi onyo nso onko private ah me se be kan se bi aba wasre enumre o it ma mi stay on one wo ye ni party say ni a ti asiesa respect ne what dem awo mo yes so be respect a very important but so no be bia na no ka kire yen say 20 years ni onyankopon chastising so on sesa na adwene enye sa ono Benny Hinn o meki na 20 years ni wa ya za bu nkrofo agigi nkrofo sika all in the name of sow seed na me ka kire wa o se me who me ne hwan na makoka Benny Hinn asem yes na ma me who so low grade wa adwene wo fom maybe ne hwan onu wo twa won tro no wa ma ohu onu wa dada wo no an kenya wo onu wo de Bible edin tro e wo awurade anim Bible say entro ina agya ene bonsam wa manu anya ohu me bo Benny Hinn dinti wo so wa nyame adwuma cheda bi why mistake so oba nyame mu 40 years ni a ti 23 because 20 ni de wa wiade 20 ni de wa yaza 20 ni de wa bu nkrofo 20 years ni tifrim na aka 20 into say ye 40 into aka 20 ni so kra no ye be some deduction that you be kra no oba nyame mu on say da nyame adwuma nkyeye na mu man tro ne azane dada de wa yache ma hunkunkun ma wunyansa because nyansa ye nyame adoma chede nyansa in fact ye nyame ankasa Yesu ye wo nyame nyansa nti Yesu ba wo na wo ye Kristo ni na wonim nyansa ye ha adwene nti ye platform isu de ye pacho ye kan se ne tie ye ma wo nyansa e wo nyame mu nyame suro ene nyansa ahyase nti ye serew tobo ni na ye nisa ankomo wi na nye kama pa mfa mo bia nti ba ha na bie de obi picture to so so ni ye boni din ye cancel from wa kwasem a ye ntan no but o ye charlatan ai say me ni pe kwa said ban oba bonten be ka kire se wasakra ye be jam Kofi Oduro oba bonten a wo se charlatanism work no wagya ye ono otumi se no wo hye nkom fo sika wo twa ntro fo sika na Kofi Oduro so wagya ye obi ni no asem se wo ye nyame adwuma no wo se na ni abretwi akra ma nyame wo ye crusade ahodo wo nye bi da in his life wo gya ntro ne azan no na e ka kire ani o eno ne ebe me hu se wo ye nyame adwuma eti ebi no ho a ekom ene ye fa de saying adwuma yi ne ye nkrom nti no ye krom so de offer bible na wo ye so ye sunsum nipa sabi o kan se mhu bia na obenya fans eti ebetra ye kasa nsem na ye ntan o why papa na wo owura ko hye ne muso ye onyankopon no ye ntan no ba se utimi ma nipa ye onyame na wo problem now you don't know God. Bible said those that know their God, they shall be strong and do exploits. It's God that you should be knowing. Paul said, I pray that you may know him. You may know God. You may know Christ and the power of his resurrection. That is what you should know. Then what next? You must know God. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Our job is for you to know him. If you had no cranny, and time will be I am a man, said how against Hawaii, and Fancy baby says, I'm a cabano, or Ninia, a brobino, or more time, albino, and a brobino, Debbie, and time will be no cranny, I won't pay. So, 80 a patch out, share broadcasting. Invite for the catching say never talking about sex. It was a woman trauma sex, the importance of sex. And you're proud so be body sex. What I say? Very, very you're proud so be body. So sex, nice one pie, baby di home come na ebe kama. So intimacy but more than share broadcasting. Also Broby.
Yeah, Bishop Abadiganza.
Bishop also. Oh, when the Bishop link, no one join here. The Bishop, I'm a link. Me send a link. Grab us see.
So, this sex is one of the pleasures at the right hand of Father God.
Why?
Apostle Tom Nate, no.
Hey, and then the agreement. My memo on the link.
Sex is one of the pleasures at the right hand of Father God.
Hey, and then the moment you have a kunto holiness for the Becca say, man, go for hello. Hey.
It was awful. And they were somewhere kind of important.
Hey, maybe also for Abuaji Ganza link, also Blue and Pachakasakana. Mema also for Abuaji Ganza, me money link na Omraha. Aye.
A idea who here extra say. A idea.
Apostle Banks so one also you're running to and I just hear so far Kessia na. Share. My almost there. Bon come on, yes, moody the asun song.
Missy, I say no baba home.
Emano dear, why not Obano cry wine the beba?
Oh, and
no, yes, no.
Obiama.
Obi, yes, man, fan into a was of so in Germany, but you see,
Kathy Mendes also. Kathy. Opa so about some
Kathy Mendes.
Yes.
Kathy's up so about let us see near from Moses see a mile senior man be a variety. Come.
Yes. What we are going to talk about is very important because as Christians, everything that we do, the Bible says, now you who say and areas and I say the people of the world no more share a Christo for the omonye. Instead of say a Christo for the who the say now you see a share from my near. So if as believers we don't do what is needful, we will leave it to the system of the world to do it for us. Which
a Susie knock say I am here or software bank. Send me the link. And honest, I'm not ashamed crying. mame hwese mehu no ahase ha na enko ene e bedi nkomo osofro bentimi meye MC no meka so bebi se bisa questions dey do bebi se bisa o bebi se bisa my question
There be question no na me be osofo
why na bebi se no question
one osofo Jacob ene ayi osofo Asiama ene obi obeka
ye bebi sa osofo wo de wo he ene meye person na bia nkofo ye behye wo
internet no sa na ese ekono osofo
eti me atu ba bia obi o se me de mani bia no me de ama no ebuso fo mo ntro ma me ane mo bu afu eni pe hwe the importance of sex na me pa cha click on the likes ne so no you free so I click on the likes na mo react to here de na pa Susie say 18 years is the problem. Also, I love this program. It's very educational. Oh, thank you very much, Susie. I just really love that. I'm Apostle Banks Ewaha. Your cousins. Apostle. Papa. Thank you. Henry Amponsawa Henry. Papa. Apostle Tom Netty. I see you, bro. God bless you, senior. Sex is one of the pleasures at the right hand of Father God. Seeing grace to you all. Thank you, Apostle. Yangasa, Papa Soha, Apostle Jocopon go be join the enche. Belinda Jerry, Yamisha Belinda. I be say Belinda and Belinda, Mubia ye. Amisha Papa Kofi Tommy it is saying, Amisha Papa Patina. I hope Tina Blagoji, I hope you are good. Yamisha Papa. Okay, Honorable Nyamicha Bine so sending me link. Hey, Honorable Camera if you. I link I'm sending the coin. What do you call LMLS one? I say Macaban Ministry home. Me a short of one the coin, Prof Macaban. Okay. I'm here. Honorable Binding, you me favor beyond. Nyamicha Binding, you me favor be Prof Macaban on my account. Prof Macaban. Fako messenger mo home my wife. Prof Macaban for sending me all this is me pacho. I mean show. Young Gregory Nyame. Azuma Dixon, Mary Azuma so ewahasi. On point. Or say blasphemy. On point, the be blasphemy no. On point. She say mumu kakra. Na intimity ase kakra why? Me pacho. Chiche mu kakra. Okazi blasphemy dia won kan hwe. Chiche mu kakra why? Na me hu which part no. I will appreciate it pa. Chiche me mu. I mean sure. Salome Fafa, Yamishra Salome, God bless you. Adwinshra, Yamishra Papa. I see Samuel Copson, Yamishra Papa. Say, say, my nephew is here, Maxwell, say Max. Blessings. I Kofi Champon, so Ewahasi, Elizabeth Ann Ewaha. Wonderful. Nyamena, Nyamena, me who nachapao. Nyamena, that is saying. You deal or say so Ewahasi den. In Tiabushafo, Nyamisha will be importance of sex will be true be my na yentimi yem ko yet nim. Mahumi ankasa, Master Peninico, Sibodu Ewaha, Eman Sans Ewaha, Yamisha mo papa. God richly bless you. My benapoku es Ewaha. Good evening to you too. Mamia Kyo Hina Waha. Omo commenting on it to me boom. Engineer Sibia ye Chawajana say. Also, but before many so I know kind why na young as my more selective. Me intina say at the end so no AFD if it pass my eye, it pass my eye. Oh, enti also for bet you be niako.
Machel be
oh, okay.
Love and my home sister Eunice. God bless all of you.
All right.
On the platform.
Apostle Tom, Pastor Tom, Pastor Jacoponi, and Pastor Tom Nati, Pastor Jacoponi, and Pastor Eric Monjoini and Tentem, Bishop Abuaji Ganza, and Yane Bra. But your link is near a straightforward. Just follow the link on. Who follow link very easy. Na young queen so. Who follow link very easy crap. Okay, all right. I also sorry now person can be.
I'm say I didn't yes no
oh yeah, no. I ain't you glad this is all shame free Paris. entry yam sure papa. You when they make you comment say blasphemy me trying to say obe classify mine kakra. Yeah. What of Yankoi?
Joseph. Say a kasa about sex in the context.
And come on, ye do the in
the context of marriage.
Say I need dim come chain. I need dim.
Yeah, my best me who is Joseph.
Aha.
The case sexual communication. They are there.
Hey.
Sexual communication or sex communication or whatever communication in regards to sex. And no crime, just they are there.
I say akwa say me ye ka say see communicate enti no say ka sexual communication che say enamu kasa enye say bia wo ne obemeda na ema na ne tie sa de no mo gigigige ho emema no so at point bi o mo so kasa at certain level bi but mema nse dan kasa be brace but edru ba bi a mema kasa nye no ho asem na obi say na mmom no ye ka sexual communication and the ben ana and the kasa ben ne kasa de chrew e ma hu se no BBC pese koso na BBC must take place
intimate fan say before, during and after. What's the meaning of communication when it comes to before sex, during sex, after sex?
All right. Also before sex and say number 1 bema wa prepare your mind no ba wa prepare your mind bu bia no a what acting can say and no we want to make love as couples no. Number 1 at not under any circumstances and a woman was our inclination I was idea and over upsetting the pan and I be stressing it up into because very important and no must be the base he said men stressing the panel name mumu me ya dia ma atwe na adwene abaso and your man attitude na muntimi nkan don't worry. Action speaks louder than words. It's your buyer, honey. Ebi awa hagino. Ebi awa yinatadi. Ebi aguho. One man peg kakra na wa kissing kakra. Was so mu squeezing. So san ye kitwe bino. Chiche be mana jene ban ye mebiso. So it's no yes and then no so mu nebia ya before say bi o kwa ne to kwa no abone to. She na bone to pa. Na oh so yes ade edimi ni nkomo no. A man because of a my bro or baby or ha or peso ya de no ebia or pe sex na numre no but be man adwene nko so ebia be man ko wa tired wa bre on ntinu na adwene ni ho peso koda but there be you can bring the man on also for your invitation no be invite be man ama oni mood you ko be o mood ni you have to do something in a very positive manner. I'll be drawn attention to it. Into a buyer crown, bit mamma kiss kakra, was soon on kissing and no kissing ye. Mamma could deep in your peg kakrabio. Now we are now, my name could deep too much. Now what can I say? Hello, honey, how was work? Near that day, oh wow, you look so wonderful, you look stressed, my mini went through so now because for one dream was so Nipanajin in the swinting science and getting away no oh yeah. Bring it man on a dream to say near that day. Ye be ever stressing a cry because you want to invite him. Oh, we no so called that's oh honey, let us go and have a bath. Oh, would said that any now could jare. Said that what bread chicheno. No soon munana. Oh, let's go. Oh, member ye to me and do was awful. Oh, I saw be corn, coas or be corn, coas or be one yet. Now so honey, come on. My mammy could you church him out? Mammy could you church me? I'm a jar. I'm pat. What didn't quite what they said. Or Ben be our band said you're sorry. Regardless how hard the man is, also for sorry. Emma to me, Montreal, Emma to me. Or sorry. Now did the call. What would the honeyman yash me? I'm a jar. Who na who jarring me pan into whom you obey. Pijan and Sako so to chin to him. Oh, who pijan yaman good baby now, Sapona Fassier, no chew home now. Who romancing or who chin who now cut down and kakanka crack. Oh, honey, to a nimka cram, peg crack. Was awful. Oh, who would know Anno? Bearman at Jenny Bessison. At Jenno,
one sided, one side
may come man said no, because who's a man in a finding it difficult to approach. A member did to me approach at any time. But a man finding it difficult.
Approach, you know, do we really communicate the way a bema obana jene abasa ne maneso? And answer a selfish approach.
Oh, also everybody knew this so. Bebe see a boa man kakra bia na makome man dey so. Enti no na I say when you say that sexual harassment, me patch Debbie. And yes, sexual harassment. Oh, harassing nipa. But you have to be clever in knowing, say, I want something, right? Send me my party if remember home to me, ye kasa de to the boas in bread, and your bonnet. So by yes, if we are saying Sunday night here, Okope Juma will approach to work, a year di pass on it here. It's a very important Pastor Jacob on your hat. It's very I don't remember what I say.
Apostle Akaba.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I mean, sure, I'm saying many lighting problem kit way be, but yeah, try resolve it. But yeah, because so Michio be I mean, sure, mo where you my papa mo yeah.
Amen.
All the followers, you be
Thank you. Oh, Kojansan, you don't worry. Come on, you didn't come on getting it. It's also wrong. It's in short, or Bano, yes, on say what Beman the Boo Fukra, what you do not come when you're near D, what the knuckle bathroom were jarring because member be bring pegary. Member be bring pegary. It's in a question I will be sent to Obani Yabu tre. So because Obani is in the heat no it's no pep or pep. Beman so I yes, Beman the aquadro back or the aquadro na can aquadro. It was so yearly free mood. Oh, now or the neighbor. Internet sanwa. Yes, level week at Cranwa. I'm telling you. So the next day, or no banco soon, Beman will have make an approach. Or you win the free bathroom or the back. Oh, no, the one man the brush on pasting the teeth. No, they are say, Bemo Yans and any who say, Uncle Jarry, brushing the teeth, and family. That's aqua. Sabro, you process no yeah, and aquadron free and none free and so, or be communicating with what you want. It's with that, and so no, a holiday, then we can talk about it. Also, we about a member so famua. One, and also no, a member credit easier than my HSA. Also, for be fee when we sell a banner bread and a baby coso, who soon one or hagino, or hag your banner. Now one money case kakra, to money case kakra was soon more the way I bet cut down no. Nasty process a my dear be no. A mouse soon baby or I was so I won't know yet no. Baby I saw a bed man I active kakra. The man I a signal and beba. Ain't no kissing and I was squeezing a tongue canka crack. Well, who bringing the mind on something. And I posted your company and Abeba.
So continue. You are doing well.
It is that action now I know. And none of them more banner who say, and something will happen. Something will happen. In the only sano, same own stress or banner, or barber tobu, and in the dim come on nice. You are bringing the home. It is Sunday mana beno, ube creative jokes, be a kind of serious beba on pressure, which means or bano by be a wire tense, wire stress from work. Something is going on. As soon as possible, no, get involved. The man who say you're concerned. And as usual, and that is how the marriage should be. Anyway, get involved. Man who say, that problem you're concerned. How can I help? What can I do? It will yes, and now you're involved. That's our stress and why you free work crack at the man one. Now who bring you jokes kakra near the idea what you say Obana Jene Banyamaso. Then you are able to do that. The same thing, no, or Beman's bit apply the same method. Oh, let's go and have a bath. And then boom, you know what to do. So that's it. And no, easy tension, easy pressure. It take you off a bit stress from both parties. So to me, as we are, I believe the environment is set, then whatever needs to happen will happen.
Also, now, you have spoken about one form of communication. Communication in sex or in marriages, you know, in terms of sex, what form must it take? Yeah, I can say to communicate effectively with people, no, you have to know when to communicate, how to communicate, and you have to know who you are communicating to. and where you are communicating with the particular person involved. Now, when it comes to sex, these 4 things are needful as well. When, where, who, how. And you know, so you can say who give you general before, during, and after sex. What kind of form or shape communication should take with this? What do you say?
Okay, Apostle Jacob on the person. Now we are making after one. No, now you say make before there no, during and after medical crabs. Apostle Jacob on.
Wait, just 1 minute. We're 1 minute. You know, I believe sex is spontaneous. Now, the quality of sex will be directly proportional to the relationship between the man and the woman in the marriage.
Fantastic, that's good.
So, and if there are problems, yeah, it's a bit sex no quite.
Yeah.
So when you say Uba, ya no so yiremu, obetima bo asum kra. It's a problem of her, and it can even make her angry and more infuriated. The same thing to the man.
But there's a way there. Okay, Patrick, to us.
And you know, there has to be love, no, in the marriage. There has to be love. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Papa said, that point is very important. But then say, whereby they know say they are okay, because problem, or of course, the problem has to be solved. So that's it. And always, and I say, don't try to use sex to solve problems. And my problem didn't go away. So I said, no. You have to tackle the problem and deal with it to the root. That is very important. And whereby it's supposed to be spontaneous, you know. Apostle, it comes to a time where I now to me say, Baku is not in the mood. It happens all the time. And you know, if one is not in the mood, then no. I mean, that is what I said. You know, Senebia, you're able to. We all will be on the same page.
Communication before, during, and after. Also for part of your room. That also for Bandi can be a coin. Also, what Jane saying? How do we?
Oh, there be there. I mean, much slow points because Prophet Abba now overflow. No, but I just thought to add something. And who said there's a reason why people are not prepared to have sex? Well, there's a reason why. And you know, it's not always that people want to have sex. I mean, the man might feel like having sex, the woman might not feel, and vice versa. But there are factors why. In the but Crampo said the man can do everything possible, but the woman still will not feel like having sex.
Will not bad.
Well, will not bad.
The man is out there, no wonder.
Oh, Debbie. So, your friend say, I worry, dear, and if the man needs sex and the woman doesn't feel like her, she still can help the man out. And vice versa, and so. And yet necessary so be sexually aroused. No, it don't work like that. In a fairy tale land, but in a real world, no, sometimes no, the man feels really like having sex, but the woman doesn't feel like having sex. And Paul can be or count to the effect say sex prevents temptation outside marriage. Because there may be more cases be Beman when not sex, no, because the woman didn't want to give it. And this so called thing. No, or a Christian man, a bit my basso, a pastor, a bit my basso, a bishop. Well, in a marriage, the couple should understand themselves. One, to stop temptation of one going outside. Because even Quran say a cow bar Quran, you'll be a friend office sex. Well, people have office sex. And the reason why they have office sex is that they are not satisfied at home. And I will share so office sex is here very tricky because so we are bar now only attractive man be a juma, and now we are bear now only attractive man be a juma. And it's a very intense job, and you're alone with him in the office. You might end up spending more time with that person than even your wife, averagely. It is a sparks at the na wunya ade ese wunya efifia e ma bonsam eboremu e ma temptation si peace
and that's why wa kono gigew
say ano de to say Monica Lewinsky say no Also, Sheda, she intentionally flashed her tongue at Clinton. Well, into your flashes and Clinton with his background or your weak kakra and FI Monica Lewinsky into your maybe so be a so sir. Well, what bed you may want Shedan dressy papa. No, I share sexy pants or yes or cotoafa, no more farm. Now I wouldn't say balls, round things the church. Well, and insu who are a person. I was to be serious in life because they can't anointing things. And see, we call a city of London here. In person, I can't send people because of my profession, but we call city of London most here. Office sex now. One more year, to stop your mouth. If you are a woman, you have to have understanding. That is why Proverbs 31 says that the woman of virtue, or understanding. So even if you don't feel like having, because minim sofubi, or your bishop, or big church, so or mama no ne wife shana say bishop ne ni ye krakra. No catch say bra. Let me mama service o kakra. No service ni ku. Well,
that is the wise woman who say be man adwene kokko baby.
Yes. Well, when you young sir, and I be or so crampo a couple no. Munyantiasia, so Banuko baby no I tempted that. Otumika, so my boss is tempting me. Say. Now couple Martinasi under the guidance of the Holy Spirit. No your solution. Everyone so Bermans who call Chrome no ko whom bibi. Nah attempt to because Bible no count Hebrew money Matthew say Jesus Christ. He was tempted. And Matthew there doesn't tell us much, but Hebrew says he was tempted in all points as we were. And Jesus, I believe say, hey, do brethren, as a single man. Young as he was, no, he had that temptation in that area. Inti Bema the obenya temptation, but if the woman is wise, we can say, "Adwa me ko adwuma pa, obabi tata mi o." Na che say, well, inti asibiaba, patro me person make say bebre nti over to you.
All right.
About so the finish, communication during and after
so mostly no send the can the communication I say if you oh honey tonight I feel like we can have this or with my verbally no what catch if you also said the you can go with the ones for one non but actions will depict it very important. It's in a back in bed and angasa the how the said that can once what must happen once or bani bema dampen we will talk about it. But afterwards I think said there should be a compliment to me idea there. The woman must be able to say, wow, honey, you're good. Thank you. You know, there has to be something. And Muslims, their performance is on the man. And a man can say 2 minutes. We say, yeah, bubu ya, I will see to me, Tima track, Cassia, near Moya Dinny, I won't pay. And then that yours of your back was him. No, some many a mark or that no mutimi jina suchina may catch her when they waste of time. Apostle at least on me by agony. Also for a waste of time. Because sex itself and bear man or bear than the man has to be strong, but not strong say obey me mubay ding and an anchor of walker. Obey my bit my ding. Apostle, I'm a because I make a clay. Okay, but you're the Gaza. No, my chip wing Caribbean, we can go into details on that. Which man no now bema moya ding, but not necessarily say you can have a perfect love making on the bed. It's and none of the necessary say bema moya ding a besa. And the bimuso fa no and fi say more last long near the day. But that's not the case. Obi ohwa obetuma fa no. But when you are not strong in the heart, because sex is performed in the mind and in the heart, it will be all near or muscles, but in a one yet dinner. Oh, we need nakuma yet din say, want me to mirika, a free nifi hanko prima. Ube so me, nakuma ye weak. Oh, it you see a Bismarck, the piano Bismarck from Po to mirika opa, because or prepare the heart. Send a kuma no ebe strong Bismarck from point minimum no it was say bema and gym necessarily so back pija na dear but it was so to me more walking now to me tumrika Now, heart is strong. When your heart is stronger, your sex life will be beautiful. That is point number one. Not necessarily say, and no be control bibia. Aha, e boa pa, and the men am the baby room see. It's more no. Obi also for bitima no munro bia bi na ne be mai ding. But a man be dear dance say. Me oh also oh na kuma nya den. Na kuma ye mremre. Or you 1, 2, 3. No, me oban so you okay. Or say me okay. Oh. We ain't your best to stroke. Because ain't your best to stroke because the heart is not for the kind of a drone or condom performance and your person or the it's a very important say no now per se who ye ding dia and ye be power chow say but more than a exercise to break your road one ninya heart strength mind strength. Upon the company, my member Susan Akwaba. Also, my member Susan Akwaba. Susan Ampacho Akwaba, Pum design.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
That's all right. That's okay. Upon the company names what pajamas I mean before the Susan because every officer can be on. Oh, so yeah, what you move. Apostle Silas way. Also for Silas, me Pacho, Swabra.
So the Apostle Silas.
Obi Montage Silas, mami. Also for Silas, Montage man. Yes.
Yeah. Who said Ningina no Mimi who said understanding? You see, the couple, the man and the woman, is so many anti-ACB because they have to know the health status of each other. Well, and if one's health status is poor, but couldn't bet me my foot to a boy, one bet me seek medical. Sometimes, no, especially the men, no, they get very intimidated, to tell their wives or their spouses, maybe any juma. Well, they get very intimidated, but I think, the foundation of a marriage, a Christian marriage, should be understanding. And a man also no. The reason why men man crowd pull intimidated is that sometimes it's a crowd be see or debate did what time. Well, I think we have to dig deeper in this area of love. I mean, who said love anyway? Because we have so many things that affect erections, and especially diabetes, some particular diseases. When you grow older, won't mean cut to say akwadabiko. Rounds no so better. When understanding comes, the other one doesn't feel inferior. I mean, when one's performance is poor, they don't feel inferior, and it builds up the marriage. Because you can be so strong. No. It doesn't work like that.
And possible. With
age and with particular diseases near the crowd, and you're advisable. And now, the thing today says some men want to prove themselves, and I want to address some men who also oba shop or pay Viagra, but Viagra no, well, and son obinyano, we have to let you fill the form. Obu oho no a tro egu form no so say bibia anya no perfect. Ezo hwe se nipa we ojina ha we di 80, wakonya 30 years girlfriend, opeso proving him. He have to get the Viagra in all means, and there have been cases whereby people have got strokes. Until to top bitters, you have to read the literature. When obu or crowd for bitters are any a draw fano, it clashes.
But also, me pacho sorry. Ye mom say the more wound wait a ultimate page when you are young. You can't let that same weight when you get to a certain level. It a man in tears say a drew baby now our bema no one 20s or 30s. A one who enjoy Ginny in that time no as much as you can at that time no. A year foot to too. Mr. Onya 40 na time a yamre banka crankakra. It's better on him almost.
So Obama will be a nymphomaniac. That Obama is a younger person because of phobia when you turn up. I ran home better than that. Me boy.
Osofo Bacho Church will explain what terms ne kakra ne nkofo nto ase because we want people to understand what we are really talking about.
Aha, say bia uko ware oba na uko ware no. Why an nymphomaniac ne chese to say oyo bia na ni G-sex ho pa, oyo freak.
Aha.
Na sani pay wako share na wi na we do 50 hours oh my say my old 20 left to wait to be. Sa oba no. We are sa na bia wo tete no. Would it be advisable? So about this son, I will know him who's a son or Tim. Or a younger person now.
Osofo senior na apostle Osofo Jacob Ekano. The fundamentals of the marriage, you know, love and understanding. And a more proper communication very important. Enti mu unimo ho be man sunnim no ho na mo agree say mo be ware. There has to be transparency and talking. Ye society no so for ye mpesa akasa no. Have to be open. Men ye who Christian woman and a Christian brother and then ya make ye hu na hu na very important. But don't ya make ye hu and ye de nyame na ahye and obi okwa mi mo be buttons na ade na very good. But don't ignore the needs, you know, of each other. Muma no so very important that mon communicate. Munya santia se na me gidi se na Osofo Jacob kan e dru ba bia na ntia se o mo ba ne be hu se no, the husband has been faithful, the wedding is faithful, why you committed. Etinya afei na dru ba bi no me be hanipa e martin se ma se o and na Osofo what a man will do, it will shock you. Or baby dru ba bi obetima ka se woni wo be man ntime na on will be na bio. Am I faithful in that area? And when they understand you and when they know, say you were there for them and you are still there for them, they will also do anything for you. And the man say in the drawer, give yourself to the relationship, commit yourself to the relationship, love as much as you can. So, and no banasa no a drew baby, not time no any strong, not any day papa. Or band be manage yourself, trust me. A man be brave, or more demo, or more manage you.
Ah, better manage you, manage anything.
Oh, Mr. Susan, or back at you, so your bow.
And Okari said, yeah, software banekano. The foundation of the relationship no will determine when I obey no how or will relate to you. Because Ayana and people underestimate the strength of a woman in marriage, especially from your background now, you free panel. A way that makes them feel like this is where we belong. In many relationships from the African background, and that is from my counseling point of view, the data I have collected. And when it's like that, not the pain any would see or the arehone would see. For instance, they because physically there are days on one kasa nehunye, but on no catch you nehunya, who you the husband you don't agree. But when you are unwell, yeah, you want head one.
This are your
it is okay, so would your home wow. Into know how we relate. Oh dear.
Hey,
how we relate to our wives. No, love. The Bible says, love your wife as Christ loved the church. This sacrificial love is always lacking in many marriages. And when there is no sacrifice now, in times of trouble, no, there is nothing for that person, especially from a woman's point of view, to remember in order to stand in the gap. And see, treat your woman like your own body. And make sure, say, you respect her in every aspect, every area in that marriage. And when it comes to the time when you make love now, you will see the difference. And you will see in your weakness and also know how I obe handle with care, any problem. But that understanding and love, will keep the relationship going. Now, from my understanding, we're talking about importance of sex. Into sex, no so idea, bringing the two souls together. You see, the two shall be one. No? It's the moment that you get closer and get to know each other very well. Into one important me say, you don't need to go to gym. Sex alone. If the man is good and the woman too is flexible, the body is flexible. It's one of the good exercise the body can receive. And as I said before, yes, it is antidepressant. So who make love to a woman or a man, it releases the happy hormones.
Slow down. Why? What
Ah,
can
yeah, remember
what can say me? No say antidepressant. And a sign.
Yes. Yes.
To go 2 points. Go ahead.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, yeah, is it young corner straight? Okay, yeah, remember. Susan,
Battle, go ahead.
Okay. Antidepressant na make no. Say you make love. On say your friend be orgasm. The more rich orgasm now who yo g na. Some men know the way I am of God. A queer me assassin with me in actual. And do some point now. So I would in your money kitchen now who you partner ye come we are to seminar no. At that time no. Now happy hormones this why you release. And say a release into your body and what happens? Emma weniji. Emma hunam diane esiti ni hoso. It was any pabe hunu no looking sparkling. You be huna de bia ye fe. Inti bema o 10 years sex no. Ube huni bia na was re. Osofo a the gire di money ye no pretend to cost papa.
Oh, but I said, pretend no one now. Jesus Christ,
in the case of Paul, also Paul dear, no one didn't who what see what's a one idea. Eke ka wonu kwa kama ye nware.
Oh, Susan, may how on
And so who bet me and to onu owo hu odi no ye. Roman asofo. Na oda wo ye e Catholic priest no. Etimi chire mu say obema ayi osofo wo hyeso no. The preaching ye different from osofo a on hyeso so hu.
Osofo there. Okay, my apostle you couple in kasa kakra. Apostle, why you have sex? No. You say or say you're antidepressant. And I face a good exercise. Or what used to point to me, would it be better to us one?
Very, very important because sex, Lankasano, it releases stress. Well, we are stressor. I mean, the best stress release is some rounds in bed with your wife.
You can say couples have a lot of sex, they intend to have a happy life.
Yes, and they tend to live longer. Now, some studies also white papers be go through no. Say we now having sex. It reduces the possibility of you getting prostrate.
Yes, my research is so the same thing.
Yes,
Reducing prostrate.
You know, and to say your sister, you release particular substances. One is an endorphin. Your friend endorphin. Endorphin is a painkiller. Into wo pains. Now we got marital bed na you use stars kakrana or ho sania. Who's pains naturally because natural painkillers have been released. And oxytocin. Into your body.
Apostle Pacho, yan to your bonus and yan can you. There was so full kind of I was also researching and thinking about it. Then we say sex, say it suits headache. It suits headache. SOOTH. It suits headache. And I face a pain relief. In December, was so for a cancer, was on Pacho Tobo, into you are now constant migraine or pain or timua when you have your husband no tonebo na monye stress na mo okay in a lovely atmosphere. The love making sex it me is a pain no ed free scientific proving. Oh, it me mas a migraine no ti obi horse me waste and me no. Ebe ye free one time kra won nwene ho. Enja poso tobo ho ne chire bu se na ebe ya omo mutifie no a omo jonkolize no obehwe mu no omo sex life a problem wo ho. Oh, omo ntimi ni agro yie problem wo fie. Munya sadie no. Oh, na mo have time for yourself. Who bomb pay for you niche? Antidote ba ko nya media ma for you niche. Enie ye ho adwuma na wo sanka ho de ni niche no. Nye de bia na bekọ gya sori de ma hanyame. Nyankopon se munya saade we. Edi nyini che bebrɛ. Oh, e ka ho bio add to it. Oh, e ma wo body no mu ye free. Enti no ozofo ka ho asem ye na pain no. Na ma do no e wo pain no ne ade no me ma do no o mse umiti no. Omuni hu nkomo yosofo chechire mu kakra.
Yo bampesa me ka asem kitwe bi wo ha. You see, sometimes to conversely
Bismarck said it here, Bismarck no munsio. Drink more water.
Conversely, well, and this is a point I'm bringing in, which may or may not be relevant to the cause of discussion. So our arena problems, woman, you see, broken heart. Psychologists and researchers and MRI scans have shown that say our some woman tension in your mind, the brain can break. You see, the reason
tension
why
the brain can break.
Yes, the reason why
Obi also to boom patch with other Roma. Choose a statement in my very important. When there is tension in the marriage, the brain can break. Mumun trauma was na obi ba no share on untimi enridi. When there is much tension in the marriage now, the brain can break. Very important. What
happens is that the substances that make your body healthy will drain. Well, enter the brain in so if you slap somebody and the person is heartbroken, the brain can't distinguish between physical pain and emotional pain. It can't pain. And the emotional pain also breaks the brain. And sometimes when there are problems in mind, teacher man, woman to me acting very funny. Funny. That means that the brain of the person is being affected.
It's breaking.
Yes, and extreme nipakumbe to me enya bodam. I mean brain diseases. Well, and in a very careful, sir, a very, very important couple no dear, a nidia dear. I was some year ma eba our animal. That's why sometimes Krabi to me committee suicide ninyama e kunkumomo over care homes, mental care homes, my young woman, no more damn near the well, just somewhere along the line, the brain was broken. And in the case of Sylvester Ofori saying, somebody can argue, sir, because of what he went through with his wife, he was mentally affected. Emma could feel too. So a lot of things, so the atmosphere can become very dangerous when there are problems in marriage. The atmosphere can become very dangerous. In the especially African form, so fine because 10 years ago, and I remember some newspaper, they had the pictures of people who had killed their spouses, and there were a lot of people. Well, but teach you Africa form. I say young level of training, no, too strong, emotional training, no. Well, papa boss, where did he? What moment you and no. You need some love, no communication, no. I think especially Africans, no. We have to work on that area. But coming back to the sex idea, who having sex, it releases nitrogen oxide.
Sex releasing nitrogen oxide
in the body. Nitrogen oxide, vasodilator.
Now,
I look at the cardiovascular health, reducing of stress, heart health, no nyama. Well, and also count and a sex and so no.
Maybe also me pacho tobo the o kan say chechire mu yi na ensink deep kakra.
Me say
okay. I ma me fa bi nka the apostle e ka no kakra. And also for the importance of sex in so no. The possibility say a lower blood pressure is very important. A lower blood pressure. It more high blood pressure no. So we have sex. And there can automatic so we you because there has to be peace. It was this atmosphere, calm, it was a love, and all that. So very important. Also, where there may come we a tormenting. I mean, will be another high if I'm saying pressure tablet. So I am a person now a mighty to no more one, which means a brain now was medication. So now it be also a dear was say forever, will say to be free.
Postnatal depression. No,
it is a high blood pressure. No apostle you couple you will be brave. Minimum be an offend. But I mean, come see winning baby. One can free yourself. Don't overburden yourself. Don't overthink. And you might be brave home. Burden ye be good. Never relax your body. Ube won't say, your body never adjust. You come out of the medication as quick as possible. And we feel as so the year Juma crank, I bear 1 month. And we join medication if we join for bear 1 month, bear 2 months. And we go home the GP. Or call and the doctor catch and say, wow, your blood has stabilized. You're looking good. You be okay. Into uncle so an unfair druno. As a prescriber man and obey okay. The doctor not knowing say we jai for crab 3 months. You see, on one case some pressure who you and nema na kuma ha no we release ya to put burden on herself bionia the adeno. And a boy emutimi yes ade we. Into what we are saying is say there are near be your yan your kofa mama me so. You're not chasing anybody in life. Relax yourself. Tobo. Enjoy life. Yenen kakra as to strength. Men show be the why you never pressure being too so. You want to make it, you want to do this. Now stressing when you're going. We ever do honor. Now body na am red. Or stroke. Now you're really born now. Don't know who you obey. Enjoy life at every level. You're very tenacious. Now persevere is very important. Don't stress yourself. Men put to bed they be on yourself. The apostle Jacob on can remember be bring erection or some age na san man getting it way so. A man and a man na air so foul because why not just so build a fear or so see fear bed 12 bedrooms who was stressing who ye juma or hano bahania the adeno. Obey you na ne be ma and kola ne be di no gross. No. Yeah, a man here, Beman, I feel could you talk? Or quiet uncle. A man in our friend 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
A man in a friend 30 seconds. Wait a minute, 30 seconds, a man be bringing us for 30 seconds.
And only a similar problem, the one it was I know an fail or person or chin free the year home because when so man and engine or carbon thing, what try or the only friend 30 seconds. Because the one can start poyaria man home. And here, we must understand, say, a man and say, no, my wives, they don't put too much pressure. Mema so much, so a mema so relax your mocha, no more enjoy the marriage. I say, ye pisca at all costs, a breaded doors and doors of.
If sex is to be enjoyed, say them okay, because you are talking to us about how important sex is. But before the actual intercourse, it's engaged. Communication in the atmosphere must be created for that to be enjoyed.
And in particular, the question with the member season.
What are the processes except both man and woman go through for that sex to be enjoyed, for that sex to be pleasurable, for that sex to produce? And Apostle Jacob and Susan Ekan. What kind of atmosphere and they can create it? Because I don't come before the actual intercourse. because Bama be one, nanum correct me put Obano off.
Susan and one in net ne internet in a crowd.
Apostle Jacob.
Well,
Okay, Susan, sortie and can say cover you because we can't really hear you. A patch why? Now network is not helping. A patch.
Sir, here again, we have to address, in fact, being the benefits of sex in me, but sir, the basis of many African marriages need to be addressed. There may be a CCO because it seems as if statistically, many African marriages are breaking apart. Now, sir, you bring a better sex life, then we have to have better communication. But some issues, well, in the Christian marriage, as he said, the man and the woman should be one. Bible can't ever Genesis, they shall no longer be twain, but they shall be one. But who say you seek a son, teach you seek a son, yeah, in Tokoba, well, so that thing, well, and the way of addressing Pentecost in bar, that's why I like Pentecost women. One to make mirror, mirror, and then you see a 21st century woman. Whatever a man can do, a woman can do better. Into your background, one dressing, or see Sarah address her husband, my lord.
Also for the pacho, yeah, what 21st century into no kawura, a kilo 21st century na woman.
Oh, so we have been caught in present tense. We have been.
I mean, you're a man in a casanunti, a man. So kamira, oh sweetheart, oh honey, a kilemwana, a mamuya weekana. Where you hear my baby and sour how? Nana say one day Catimendis, Mumusha, Mumras and interrogation.
A deba bayama or bano, about finding it difficult to call them on the mirror.
Although the Yabaha. Indeed, Nana say one of the Nana say Waha, Catimendis Waha, a man of Mumras and Munincomo. Oh,
mirror. But is the way I see Bubon soon, it didn't attempt cancer now. Or friend mirror, and then
they say they be on the sound yourself on your chin. Or chin, yes, idea.
On friend mirror, based on the demeanor and then the attitude, and then the way I will see, I will respect man, very easy for the to relate with him that way.
That's it.
Anyway. Ready, how do you call such a person mirror?
Okay. With the old case say no, Mamenka win chip in. Namitie blessing Mandy. And all can say be say submissive. First and non submissive I say. I'm just quoting her. Now yaka submissive. Now it was a real problem for blessing Mandy as I'm making. Now, I say when you find the right one, now submissive be automatically. Also, where from blessing Mandy was say a man who could submissiveness no was a momu kunum ni ade no. Umunya be ma papa ne omontena. Na wunya be ma papa. Say na wokan o mbebubo wasum me no one. I just say submissive ni flow because the man is the head. And when the head is in checks, now who's the head acronym? It's me torchy. A torchia, uhia moa, uhia help. Near walk to baby. It's a adrenaline torchy, nay clean, nay clear. Submissive from a man. It is so easy. It's the old kind of make me out of bless man. I say, first no can submit or say me submit it to who? And then if I'm a will and then my power mobi. But to realize it say, when you find that one, now. Or you be no submissiveness no obi kran count wo de ma be ma no wo de sa power no ekura no as a woman no as a human being no, you hand that power over to the man. Why? Because you trust that man. Say nipa we no onye me basa basa, you know, because the what done the akere wo no is so powerful. And I'm saying wow, I think say that is also true.
Okay. Yeah, that is so true. Where there is love, understanding, and the woman feels respected by her husband, Respect goes beyond, say, oh friend or hima. Respect is saying there are little things that happen in our day-to-day life. Obi okwa obi betra won. Sebe ye obebo ne yira mane se ne madam fue kura ba ye fie. Obehu ani ye boni dom. Bo so say ah, wan ka mama mboaboa me hu nke bia nka me ye aduane mpo ama no. Oh, ehu nhia. Ubon se wa ye het. But bibi so na ekoto bi a omusi kasem wosi o mini bi. Enso oni bi no na back pass. Onu no osi dan wo Ghana na wo hwe eniema bi wo ho. Obetimi aye we nyina na yiri behunu na nakoma eye den na ye ne ya. Efise wanhwe ne fie anwie e na wo de ye ade foforo. Enti said ye mandi kaye no. Submission no ebe yo automatic when a woman feels respected and loved by the husband in the home na. Eye so simple. Hey, empemo den baby abon say you will never struggle as a man. But whereby I say ohuni say you are trying to be wiser and you see her as one of the foolish objects na besu fie say serve as a servant. I'm afraid submission will be a struggle.
It will be a struggle.
And the law of reciprocity must be applied when it comes to this.
Exactly. And again, the American chairman, Emano, Ayana Yekowie or relationship more. Sometimes we discover some problems. Ebiana onye bema nitisi ni konso. Only clear vision for the family to follow. And one way who oba no ebiana ususu work clear vision. You will try say you want to help this man. Be very careful because you cannot help someone on your ready. And then no be mommy narrative be or see offer empty canna. Speak to him. And the whole thing is the moment you give wulu energy in yourself, you are trying to bring the man out of him, you will be drained. And Pastor Jacob Kayeno, one way mentally, emotionally, you will process so much, say you will break down. And untini careful in that area. When we are in marriage, now you're ready to help bring the best out of the other person now. So on your ready, men until so that person know or you're ready. And this is how you will become the woman who loves too much. Now we are mental health. And I say, you're really brain abed and obesisa egu so. If we say that problem way
love too much.
You come a problem. Nipa no kra ne obeda. Enso so na nam say emfiri wo munti na wusungu wo mo. Wo sisa yare na egu ho so.
And Apostle Jacob, before software Bambeka Samepacho said the Ezekiel, before the actual intercourse happens, what atmosphere must be created?
Yeah.
Says grass say some more kind said says grab it me amobi obi or have sex but she's not happy or he's not happy. He just in there because Sophie said, let me do it and let the man be satisfied and go his way. What kind of atmosphere must we create before the actual intercourse happens?
Well, one thing I'm person can say, people who enter into marriage, and so much I'll answer your question. Paul can say, those who marry will have problems in the flesh because here are two different people coming together to form one unit. No, bianso de nabodam semeba. Obianso abodam kakra. So you shouldn't enter marriage with the mentality that it's going to be easy, but you should enter marriage with the mentality that I'm going to fight for my marriage, whatever it takes. Well, anti couples do or what? Woman say man or misbehaving, but the woman is fighting for the marriage, and finally, by the grace of God, she's able to win over the man, and vice versa. Because internet internet painful cancer, I worry. Because one, your bodies will change, your financial circumstances will change. Bibi abesisa inti moko share obstacles. But if you have a mentality, and Mr. Peter can say, you must gird up your loins. Well, you must of the mind. You must have the mentality that I'm going to fight. Now, so to me, yes, our mentality now. Yeah, onyankopon to me boil my overcome. And to be trust because we have so many forces that are imploding our marriages. There were explosion of marriage, and we have implosion of marriage. Implosion is outside pressures. Because the people have not a juma stress. But when one is down, the other one must be mature and pick the other one up. And you know, some atmosphere cannot dear. And you can be an your friend says Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. So say your friend say fairy tale. Your friend said not Sinibia.
And only a book.
Endless love. Titi Mekosha sa ewo Latabel Koshi. O say ya kokafo. It's your films endless love. O say love endless.
Robbie. Papa bina sofobi ena o preachi me ye short. Na asem bia to a the best example is Job. Was it Job amane wo hu ye no. Na erade nsabu na erade ni hu bi. Sister, problem no jame nyame. Brother, na example di bi okabia. Osofo. Unfortunately, so for ne baba ku no free. Ena asafo mai na laye obia asane ba ko sofo kai Job e mai wu. We ba sofo kai Job. We ba sofo kai Job. Obia di Job. Obia na no a ahunje humunyi mo record Job ne di no e book mu asema, my meeting do a reality.
Me say asema okay dia mama kai metiti asem bia na ye ko
Odi Job asem na wo kan e osofo no wo say e book mu asem. E to ono ne de e book mu.
Me say titi asem bia na ye ko a visitation wo kolebu. A group na akobon palma na when ye ko share papa bia na the second wife ewu. In fact, the first wife died, he married. Oko wife second na papa isu na ye ka chen say papa enya hwe. If you papa na no awo mu pa na me ewu. I say awo mu pa awo mu. In fact.
All right. About the company. Yes, so answer also Brube question to answer. Okay, so can we answer no answer? It's what one me at say. We say the atmosphere cannot always be the case in him, sir. And now no. Possibly what atmosphere can one create?
Well, you have to make do with the atmosphere that is there. I'm sorry. Okay. You have to make do because sometimes the atmosphere in you, but mature people, no, you make do with the atmosphere that is there. I quite say we are bar worry for now worry be maybe na be man yare. Well, because I have examples. Well, you will be crowd niku enya Parkinson's ninyama. What are you going to do? Well, I would say you have to be by the man and treat him. It is sometimes I'm not feeling here, but yeah, Christopher dear. Bible can say we have the Holy Spirit, who is our comforter. So it's not just about Nankabaya party and Kasa romantic, not just a flower, see now a perfume, now but it's not always like that. This is life. And you know, that's the little I'll say.
Okay.
Right.
And there is no particular atmosphere that can be created for that before that happens.
Oh, Nankabaya.
Well, my brother, I can touch on say atmosphere near. Like if we are family now, we will fear now to me boa bano to get things done on time. Eboa. Sebeya onususu be ready now wa kompemuntem. But said your Pastor Jacob Kayeno, it's not always like that at home. There may be times that if no be baku parents and a ye be a befie in the atmosphere no will not call for it. There may be times that baku buafu minim couple bia when they are angry with each other now almost fighting no be money use that opportunity to calm the wife down. And I've heard about different couples it works for them. Ne yire ebu afunu na walk cannot no. Also use that as an opportunity to make it happen. And you know, it's not always about the fairy tale line, no. But if you are able to implement that, no, so na, good. Say, obebua obano, ufrejuma ba at least. Anopa na anwa shasi ebo odonyum, no, so hon. Na jadi siesi kwem. Ho anu abone to kakra. No hu say na aba akon ho anase oba no so no waso ne sisi achi. Ohun na adun sane nam ni tiri hu no hu ne a wo pese oye nyina. Ahwene enu na ne okwa na wuyi gu ho. Wo fie no mpacho nye ne yede kwa abonten. Eja eya na eneme bia yedi agigi ani wo fie ni sese be hu se ne na mafu aba no. Yede ye kwa ne ye gu abonten. Yesa ne ha adwen. Enti no efie no na wo yi skills no ombra na dressing no was sure to be also for my sorry ba enye ne yede kwa abontin bi so ho ya wudi entertain
You
no
have to be very skillful. So they all can say we use skills in there. You have to be very skillful, maybe.
Yesia sane ma we nyina yesia me enam say me di awari semunti I spend time to learn all this me de boa me ho na me de aboa
Now, also, Broby, now, we say, and at the end, Susan, okay. Now, when you are ready, just signal me, then I'll put you on. Okay. Also, Broby, your friend is saying, the Susan can say, no, a very important, say, a man, Gasano, ye culturally, no meaning, say, Pastor Jacob will have a lot to say on this one. There was some primitive mindset to be is killing the marriage, you know. Bema pie fifi wakwa adwuma oba no so akwa adwuma na bema katachi apon ebia 8 hour oba na ye long day no waba no so TV adwo na awe me twen wo aduan ni fa bra na oba na ye 12 hour bema na ye 8 ebia nko betimi akokra the rice bi asiso ana bibi something to do something a little bit no abe cross the night no hwe Netflix and our things we do for love. No what ho, no pressy. Or ban 8 hour, ebia was stress up crowd with jumem and woba. When you be drew fear no, bear man that so ho. Also for automatically the person gets angry. What do I say? Why can't you do something a little bit? So into sa atmosphere there. So what they are memory fit. Say submissive no ko gina kitchen after 12 hours no be ye aduane the man na wo gina wudi kwabrane so pese wo sa kase aba onsan wa wie no mini be bi osofo na aduane ono ankasa de sheda oba na ante azina ni ma woni e cha himfia se
osofo asema okay it happens across and especially those of us from the African background, no. Yeah, they are
now osofo na ekoyes
obana said yes obey aduane amanadi odidi o 7 no wi a obesesa ne ma na akọwọhye nema bi wo ha de ahye na dwemti so oba no nye ya ono ya ne den onye da it doesn't matter how tired the woman is onye da
also a sickness a deep sickness we have to be healed on that one. I am sorry. Say ya anye sa de no a MYN. Sa culture na ne wo. I think that we can have time and discuss that and no ho asem ne kan it no. But now I just wanted to chip in. Sa culture na ye creating na ye see wo. Ne ma me no mo nse no. So from mo nse da nya adwuma bi asa wo. Won, mo fie e wo time eye nuane no e prepare fie hwa nkwala. Etu wo ye sa amba wanye den. Na enne obana ko a long day e was waba. Na be ma no et mo na makwa aba. Meet ni pana halfway. A love, a sharing. So one yes, sir. Now would the show team now what to one or bar. Sa atmosphere, no, also for love will be any. You will never ever get the best part of Nana and Susan. It will not happen. They are no robots. Say or do a D1 pempan, unya be that. So it is a to me, ye memano. Yentimi and change your money and culture near the Yabetra, especially in a war country. And a Ghana phone come near Bill Kono, Mujais and Yamano. Well, it you know, say at least above cultures of a BFA. So, Pano Kitchen Kukibia, Bearmano, Ebet Desinia Manao, Huniamanim, and your Bani Jinaho, no Ubase Bearmano, Huniamanim, no Banasu, clean plate, you know, not a form of communication, no more bonk come together. Omu, you know, Mokoda, Efe, with you. What did we near Sebe ye flu ni say or hinibi near Jaconia call room Just say a dear granny.
There be also for a dear back also I see when I say Obi Oha or no so share or baby or bano. Ya they are shown on our gym say who couldn't dear. And more been to Nabiane. When I saw no Adriana Mano. As I was 7. We are as I was cleaning whatever has been done. In the South Bano or Bemano crack trial or best stop. No. Also,
material can say fine. Say Sadian or how a atmosphere na wa create with you know. Say Obani who say or ye from the heart na ye bullied na a respectful no one be a bear money ye e be a bear man akwaba wa bread near the idea. Fair enough. Or say everyone can ye so that's it. A ma be brave on their events say correct fears and the on their birthday on their when you breakfast in bed. Emma man serve one many ade. It would be serving breakfast in bed on that important day. No, why can't you continue to do it? Woman breakfast in bed.
That's what I mean.
Who okaso be man be jano okaso be man be pie okaso bi be gina fini se on sa adwen na wo mutimiti no manya ne de ne ma menye de be ye bia na me fan hwe omiti no o end up no okunu ho a e be wi akire no na problem bi ba pair also for trust me a man go something
because oba break we nipa you break down e be do be no break as I talk of now person can be
1 minute because I say man ye jama man so ekasa yes women first is men ye first
I say who can say we pede na baton na command honey and relax
you see the thing is that if you're a woman or if you're a man try and strategize because ningina a part of war for the marriage because I worry there you fight to have a good marriage. That is my point. Until we are bad na se wo be fie na wo kunte ho na se aduane ni ho a you must so wunyenyense bi wahu so wunyenyense bi it me strategize it but one who show displeasure need disrespect be the man's ego will also be into sometimes no we have to look at situations and strategize around. Also, we are Juma, okay, 12 hours, Berman year 8, Bermanum Passe, obey way, on Peso or number 7 holes, obey Gianni. Strategize, get a strategy, make food, keep it in the fridge, do something because I'm telling you, me, same way, a BSC power, I'm a Sofupombi, because what you as a wife will
do, the American has a meal, as a fridge, only that.
Whatever it is, no, there can be because of Upombi cry what I may cry now Shimakuma. Because there's also a young girl out there that
also what that in Okopolia.
Well, they're in SMP, but in no, because there's well, the thing is you see, sometimes when couples live together, you see familiarity breeds contempt and a lot of contempt. Into how Obani be who Bema and now how Bema be who Obano. And yes, Sana, and yes, me case so yes, create atmosphere. Obabu Oha, who worry, you know, Shen 90. Your friends a Victoria's Secret or a Victoria's Mystery. Every week, chain or after
no, Victoria's Secret now.
That's our experience. 23 years or something.
Victoria's Secret. Oh, your friend say. Na wash 90 na milo na oil ayem. Well, oil and why yemu no now the baby chinechina ho. Na we jawu timi basabi. Well, we have to fight familiarity because familiarity ni be mpea na mu grow apart. I know many couples are in their older age and they had a worst marriage. Because we grew apart. And we grew apart. I won't say way the bedroom way, now we into the bedroom way. Sana small girls in there know who are obu pa into respect my wife in family or the bema, and that will bring sin. So I may come and bring from because whatever it is, no, we will have anger in the marriage. We'll have conflict because you have two different individuals coming together. But conflict management no very, very important. Intimate patron say man a kasakakra.
Matima make a comment you name is blessed be your belief say the wife's fault. If he starves 1 week, he will eat freezer food quick. And then se bema de koma di no a anko no anka aduane ka fridge man kokko yedi enzem hunu ben no blessed BFC, see how Apostle Bro be looking innocent when he's been going Alzheimer's. What of our call that?
Let's be unbelieving part of me coming me baby.
Oh, there be also with them na ade okọ ha na ayede.
Me nyanko, ho se me nyanko.
Ah won na mumu betimi akọ.
Betimi akọ ba me nyanko.
Ba wunyanko ye. Okay. Now, blessed be na de okọ ha de na nim look innocent say. Okay, Nana, you have just joined. It you know, also Bro Ben is here now in charge. In Joseph.
Nana. Welcome.
I can hardly hear.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so the idea kind of said in terms of communication in sex, during sex, before, during, and after, and also what kind of atmosphere we have to create for intercourse to happen. What will you say to that?
What was your question again? I can hardly hear you for some reason.
Oh,
okay, Nana, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Or say, what is the atmosphere that one needs to create before, and during, and after intercourse? Very important. And also, yes, sir. And the first one here, then.
From a woman's perspective.
From a woman's perspective. And first question here, then.
And now because in terms of general atmosphere that has to be created around sex.
Okay. In the general atmosphere that has to be created around sex, and what is your view on it from a lady's perspective?
Well, before I continue, a disclaimer, I'm not a sex expert. So we are all learning here. I think that the atmosphere, sex is an all-day affair. I don't think it just begins in the bedroom necessarily. I think probably it starts from when your spouse leaves for work, maybe a little note. You're testing throughout the day. Maybe you don't have the ability to talk, but you're testing. You know, I have you on my mind. You look beautiful when you left this morning. Just a little enticement, you know, things just for the person to feel that they are important. And then, you know, when, what did you have for lunch? Did you even have time to have lunch? And then you have to show interest in the other person. Coming home, how did your day go? You know, if it's possible, wait to eat together. If it's not possible, get something to eat. And then, you know, just don't be selfish and think that, you know, it's just a woman, so she needs to go and get her own food. There's nothing wrong with the man also serving the woman something to eat. I think this is just, for me, a relationship is what works for the two people involved. I don't necessarily subscribe to, you know, yeah, the man is the head because that is what God, the order that God has put things. But that doesn't mean that he's the one that has to bear all the responsibility of coming home with the money. So me, for instance, I don't subscribe to that. I think women must also be able to bring something to the table because I think it brings a healthier marriage. So I think it's the same thing. It's the totality. So you help her get something to eat. The two of you wash dishes together. It's even much more romantic when you cook together in a kitchen. If you don't have small children around, why not cook together? Try to prepare something for each other, you know, in whichever way you guys want to do it, whether you in clothes or without clothes, you know, hey, that's all part of, you know, sex. It's just not the act alone. So we need to have that in our mind that sex is not necessarily just the act of the intercourse. That's the intercourse. But, you know, sex is more than just that few seconds, 5 minutes thing. So yeah, I think you need to be able to romance your woman and go both way, your man, throughout the day. And then there's nothing wrong with also kind of like having days and maybe times, setting days aside that hey, tonight is the night. We have busy lives, so hey, some people have calendars that they plan. We're going to try to get this thing done 3 times a week. That's what's up. We're going to try to do this many times. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to plan it, because if you don't plan it, then the next thing you know, you are not even enjoying yourselves at all, and it's part of the marriage. Just like Apostle was saying earlier, Apostle Jacob was saying earlier, sex is a stress releaser. It brings all the good endorphins out of you. It helps you, it set the mood, it helps you actually to perform better at work. It has a huge health benefit. So
It is
yes, that's right. Or maybe it was just a 2 seconds thing and did not hit the right spot. I'm just speaking the truth.
2 seconds.
Hallelujah, praise God. So I think all that is just part of it. Also you have to be able to have fun, play with each other. But then how is that possible? You have to be friends with your partner. It has to be a friendship. You need to be able to joke with one another, right? Joking with one another, having fun with one another, having silly names for one another.
Your device.
Okay.
Having silly names for one another, right? Not taking yourself so seriously. It's okay to just to have fun. You guys are kids. You can be kids to each other. I think that's all part of the love making experience. It's just not you ready. Let's just get this done and get it over with. Nobody's trying to do that, because we have to wait a long time. Some of us, we waited a long time before we got married, or you have to wait a long time to get married because you did not believe that sex, you want to wait. Sex without marriage is not a good thing. So finally you get married, and then you get married, and then you're married to somebody who just doesn't even want to engage. That is going to be a problem.
So you are saying that people should have sex before they marry?
No, people shouldn't have sex before marriage. So if you wait and then now you are married where sex is allowed, hallelujah. Now it's sex. Nobody is. Now it's sex. Nobody is judging you. Jesus is even. God is in it. It's intimacy. And then if he chooses to bring good children out of it, it's all to the glory of the Lord. And then you can enjoy it to the fullest. That's the problem.
Okay. All right. Yes. I think Nkrofo Basso. Enti Mami Susan with the mesra wadaroma. My will final word. Not say be meeting will be for so if that is okay for you.
Caesar, please unmute here.
Okay. I would say that sex is all about, to me, I don't call it sex, I call it love making, to get to know one another in your own closet, wherever you decide to enjoy it. And love making, it takes an effort. Please add some spice to it. It can be done anywhere, depending on your situation and your family setup. At the same time, as we spice it up with oils, massage oils, sometimes the body is tense. So if you take time to apply all these nice oils on your husband or your wife's body, it relaxes the body and it brings everything down. It calms the body. And as time goes on, you will see that the body will be so flexible and open and ready for anything. So I will add that to it and say, enjoy it as much as you can when you get it. But there was one thing that we said earlier on that I want to touch on, about the healing bit of it. Sex is a painkiller, correct? But in the area of headache, this is from my personal experience and from some articles that I've read. People with migraine, when they get overexcited, that is when you get a lot of climax, it can also trigger migraine. So that is another correction that I want to add on to it. So if you have a wife who has that tendency of developing migraine attacks anytime, and they tell you that, please take into consideration that they are telling you the truth. Because the more they get excited, I can be laughing and then all of a sudden I get that trigger. So take that into consideration when you're making love to your loved ones. Thank you, and God bless you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Susan. It's been a pleasure having you on our platform, and I believe that time to time we will have fellowship with you once again. We're so happy to have you today.
Yes, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Aye. You know, yeah, blessed be your belief there. Okay, can't see me or and your crowd. Bismarck Bisa. Bismarck Kubisa seminar blessed beyond believer said that can say Mitra Bismarck. And I'm a boy. Bismarck said, ladies, you tell us how many minutes will satisfy them. Before remember Pastor Eric Akwaban, you can one last week say 2 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes. 2 7 11. 2 man say 2 minutes noodles. Intina. Blessed be your belief, say Bismarck Repon. When you help in the kitchen, it adds to your 2 minutes okru. I don't know, sir. Blessed be your belief. I don't know episode 30, Bismarck, sir. Men, yes, sir. 2 minutes, 7 minutes, and 11. 11 inches, and I say a quay for 11 into Miss Row and find show to me 11. We are with Matty Pastor Eric Akuma. Yes, sir. Oh, 18 years old. Also, very Kramba.
Yes, sir. Bless you.
I boko dear.
I am here. Monsoy.
Yamiadum boko pa.
Great.
We do about bitum. I also, of course, in Famana, now, you know, Yanko Pastor Joko.
I hope so. Of now,
I was of Michao.
Because the importance of sex in there, you're free. It was said to become Nandian tear was said, more have sex regularly. Yes, I see you move. The Nipediano also broke and Tissania tear the diao. At the moment, especially a man, when you stress into Chayum, no more memory in your okay, no more have as much as you can. The bedroom baby, we are winning. And you know, crack. Why, Rascal to car.
Rascal to come,
oh, Rascal to car, Jaisa, Ras Jaisa. Ras, you are a gentleman, Madame Fono. Ras Jaisa.
On your gentleman,
or a meme gentleman of Intinana, Mempese, or Bessa, Ras me Pachawai. Odi Jaina, you have a discussion. Apostle Jokoponi or a peninu, Panty. Or Nana will see from no dear Casacama into me Pachaman, yes, why, Wadaroma. I made that a password team Ras. Ras do Iminia. Okay. Yeah, Pastor Eric, or some bro basically Missa will say, I say what the Nanuashem you, or some Okasa Monte, or say the atmosphere being, and there was say sex before it be taking place, and what is the atmosphere that needs to be created? Very important before, during, and after atmosphere. And I was saying, and about communication so in that area no before sex and so on, and it's and communication before, during, and after, and how must it be? So the atmosphere and the communication in sex.
Okay. Yo, that's it. You, Michio be also for Jacob name. Nana Sewani. I'm saying very interesting topic I to say. Sorry. First of all, there is an issue meeting na I think say say you can't now everything that we are saying right now no, has to do with physical flesh. And I'm what?
Yes.
I want to address this issue because most of the time say you can't and sana a Christopher the spiritual abebatam. And to be as I say, you can't pay near kind straightforward. Now you can't pay, you know. Now spirit in Yamabe Batahuntino. Nafi Akoya say we are not clear, and people are still confused about what we stand for. Your faith, you know, what do we stand for when it comes to the issue of sex? Because some kind of Bible features now or say, and the two shall become one flesh, one can say one spirit. So that's it. Spirit side, no, the marriage between Yeni Nyankupon salvation wise. Now you share and no, and now you about physical no. Now physical no, he created the sex and I say the communication of sex no for so many things. Spiritually, physically, there are advantages and disadvantages. And I think, say, Maka, Apostle Jacob, some of it by say, hypertension, high blood pressure, and all this kind of stuff, which is, the scientific part of it. But yeah, kind of physical part of it, which is Mawario. Our remu. What is the benefit of the sex for Yemir? A benefit in terms of say before marriage, sex no the intercourse and I say sex no what we create before we got to the bedroom, and the real sex you create here before you get into the bedroom. Because I think one of you was talking about it. Say before answer time no ever for us to get in bed and also to make love. Now say one of us is not right. You can never enjoy the pleasure of sex. How do we create that atmosphere before in answering Pastor Jacob a question? Okay, Ephesians 5:21 now or say submitting yourselves one to another. Every time we are near free. Say about marriage and sex and your mind. Yes, study free. Husbands, love your wife submit. But you're really free submitting yourselves. In the beginning, yes, submitting one to another. And I'm wow. Okay, I'm seeking how now saying your conversation mono. We are creating a sexual atmosphere. You create sexual atmosphere even before the time comes. You did it together. But honey, and then we feel and yet that day no. Can they be into done now? And as we are at that time now, you have already prepared that sexual communication. No, answer na sada no ebedru. And you say akono na bano na there be no sir now who pay there no.
And no sir na bribe one.
Oh, bribe, you don't get the best out of it.
It's corruption.
You are corrupting the marriage. You are corrupting because if you're not ready. Okay, but because our I can say time be all pay manim be yes. Then she's forced to allow it against her wish at that time. But it doesn't have to be one-sided. It has to be both sides. That's when you begin to enjoy it. It's asana, touching her and giving her a kiss and helping her. Those things have to be regularly. Asana, that particular time. It's normal in the marriage. In the sexual, what creates our communication and which is only yet you only. Your communication is sexual, even though if you are sad, you have the intercourse. You have the intercourse, but your communication is always sexual. It is sex, and yet the itself the actual, organs coming together, but the sex itself, no, is the lifestyle and who leading it. Every time who created the sexual atmosphere. Into any time, you can be sure, say the woman is ready, the man is ready, because it is already created.
Okay. Kadimendis, when you are ready, just signal me, then I'll put you on. If you signal me, I'll put you on if you're ready.
And no, Muko and Penmua, right? Everything. And a home so last week, I couldn't come on, but Muka and maybe communication has begun before. That communication is a continuation. And you have started. Yeah, twaso. The height of it, meeting, communication. Now we are releasing ourselves. Now, in that releasing, communication here may sound area also some area.
Okay. And yourself from Pacho, Yanko Dipa.
Yes.
When it comes to communication in sex, to openly discuss your sexual desires as individuals, how do you go about that without your spouse or your partner thinking we're a bad person and now we're a freak and now we're what's it? Last week we made mention of certain things, but everybody comes from a particular background and they have certain desires, and they may be attractive to them, and they may be maybe it tickles their fancy. Also, are communicated to ambassadors to openly discuss your sexual desires. How do you go about it as a believer, as a Christian?
Kathy, apum ti say, Kathy is a kwabe.
Hello everyone.
Fantastic. Aye. Wonderful. Yeah, then yes. A man never sign maniaji because the way Susie church on seminar. Hey, some questions about those but I just say yes, it's any can be any serious into your best because questions also go baby son. But who cried me that questions and so Dawson. Aye. Interpostal Basso say and near my was say to me dead in bed, me boy.
The desires you have as sexual desires are over, and now one. Sometimes it may be sequestered, like you don't know, Obanes who don't know. You are learning. When you openly want to discuss that with your husband or your wife, but your husband denying who super spiritual or no young cancer as I'm crunch. And now Obanes who super spiritual as a mention. How do you go about it as a believer to openly discussing your sexual desires with your partner? How do you do that?
All right. Also, very important. And
can I use fantasy? I will use that word fantasy.
Okay. Fantasy. I will just be brief on this because now Kathy Mendes because a positive company must have the last one on the importance, very important. Also, make it very simple. If you say, when it comes to the act now, normally no can you a virgin there and nobody knows anything. It's a simple, straightforward journey for the two of them, to go on a journey among them. Now, the more they keep on doing it, they will begin to know themselves. But whereby you're too quite bita into now no banning him or come to a place of knowing. Bearman is come to a place of knowing. And they've had sex before. And if you're maybe shame some worry. At least they have an idea of what makes me happy and what makes me so happy. Both of them know individually. Now move back together. Communication ye can wasem. Our more counseling, no more it was a me say personally, the two of them must be able to talk sexually between them. Now, in details, without them spiritualizing it. The problem with our Christian brother and sister and say, you feel sex in itself no a boni bia and a last be ho e ma yentimi enko yanim. It say the break it so depending asori koso awoko near the injunction to so sa no a emma ebinom kura minim couples bi ho a omo beda if they are about to make love they pray before and say no matter to make it holy. And yes, I know I'm moving so my bonnet tierra. And some year they nipa bibradwi mu no dawso. It I will say in short to say, Miss Rekapo, worry ya, Miss Remo. Munim komo sexually a very important be one on neka. We to me and an can. A year rade pe a year radish say a bear rade de, neniba jamam was so. So we have an open conversation on that. Men recoil it, men find so team. Na ensumu the men yes are very important. So more worried that that's why not sex life ni nkoya Miss Remo. Mo have time na mo ni nkomo. Openly, mon discuss it. Oba bi osofo. Onya orgasm da. Oso orgasm mpo. Ondru any peak bia da in her life. Into the bia no bana ye mudi. Oba brewa by force. Nani mo nye. Oko adwuma no wa stress. Ye yi na die fra adwuma ba mi ensem. Wo kasa ne ho na otiantem. Mo se oba no bibi ya fa ne tim. Hwe fa ne tim. Be ma ne fom so. Hwe nya no oye perfect. Oh. The bia be me ya genius. Osofo say.
Where done now? How do you come to that conclusion?
Oh, Osofo. Give me omo kasa de bia. Me ko kan wari sembi. Me yense me beka eba say me nkomodi dem na wake up problem when na wake we omo kasa na me say oh na eba mu ndem asem ati say oba nse na ye kan yi Osofo no okọ na ti e bi say na me hu say body language ni ko de ka asem ni jiko akira oyi na ni bi am say asem wo ho e ho na asem no wo no no watwi na ni na me di nkomo na who say the way all ye the body language ni ma me hu say there is problem because of unim be maneba na ono ano open sesame oba ni opinia na one nada na okọ sa Osofo sa etino oba ni nya orgasm da so many years in marriage eye torture eye pain uni e madi nkomo they have issues omo ho meka akere they have problems it destroys them it men kasa mo meka entino me feel say be ma de I was so making sure say you get to know each other. No communicating when you do that now. Also, there is nothing wrong with it. Me who need was say more over spiritualizing sex. Ne baby be to say we are why a bonny be and the intimate kasa and the ferry and I deal with the yanka and an pastor can we have to be plain and talk. Kasa at the end we oh and ne I was saying to me have one session crama asofo ma men mo muntimi nkasa a o mu pra a o mu timi react ya no de akọ asori dem no mu gu asori no o easy o bo kuri di se be ma na anointed na mutwi anointing be no because enye easy osofo ediwe a o jana mujana mo shout to him no ni me o kan woni team odi o tem de bia oh enti sansem we no ana Pastor Eric meboa
yeah you are hitting the point.
Very important. So it you bit my one session am so for nkwaso for my menom pra o demo a e ha adwene. Oh, it was of in short to make us say they must know themselves. And as a mumienu bani bema bia mo nada na mo hia na mo ye virgin. You learn together on the way. Now what have we be that so open up and talk about each other. So they will say, oh, do you love this? Do you like this? Do you want this? What do you think about this? And now, how do you see this? Oh, who don't miss answer? Do you want to? How do you think about this? Why do you saying? Hey, me Sunday way. Hey, we did that. Hey, we did me crowd. Bema bend it me as I didn't. No, we say, sa same way no. Hey, nechiwa de. Etino, nechiwa de obey den. And they be over man the education hour because bibi na more kasa. It is would be sent as a question one. Obe open up. See, I can't oral sex for hey. Minimum so for be also kasa chene. Ono no di preach di ofan yes ade ne da. Debi. Wasi we me yes a. Anu me ni Yakobon de kasa. me fanye sadeɛ wo eti no red flag ukọ boss ubenya asem no eti no oba ne pɛ sadeɛ no a unya bi da in the rest of your life because also onye wo eti no home you say nipa no there will be friction and tension e was our really problem e wo ho eti there have to be counseling adenti na wonya adenti na opɛ no mutimi come to a place men ka say me dem mpɛ no shut yourself out there be enti no proper talking no we probably will solve the problem e bi dia enti on penny say the way okunya me no picture nya me no ye niema bi no enti na mana come to conclusion what will you do minimum bi o ka chem so nyankopon ka kire ni say me mo nye saa de no enti no do ware wo so ka kire Pastor Eric Awuziriti oh enti no ensem bebre o enti no issue bi we have to look into it as Christians the eti mi solve problem just of my fancy na obi so nto aso na pe man of
yeah, it seems I can't hear you very well.
Hey, and there's a monty of Brubin count.
I'll start using my microphone. And the Kathy, go ahead and talk.
Kathy, also whatever you've heard, go ahead and say something.
Okay, so I feel like when it comes to cleanliness, it's a problem. Especially when it comes to men. Men feel like the onus is on women to put everything right for sex to happen, and they haven't nothing at all to bring on the table. Inti bema ebe havi we no die nata die no osheno enwa no akoda mpemu na ofele say nature say automatically I was say bibia ye pepepe
kati bohobio
me feel say in bema ni bi bebre wo hono ma ofele say nature say ne bema na sex no yes sex and nature say ne bema na asin almost how do you call it, the responsibility of listen, most men think the responsibility is on women to put everything in place. Now sex now obane no unjari obane na onye se obane na enye se no no de ofie adwuma baaye no na tade na o hye no ene se na fifre te no ni bibia no no de akoda mpaso ana se obedidi odidi wie a na we kuku no ho saa no akoda mpaso na eche se no aka say akosia sometimes e binu kra e we irritating enyeme bi obetumi aye na wabo mfe ana ode ne na ekiku say and they were ready and no nyenya sana
kati beba na ude ya talk sana
la ni hu nyenya sana na wabeda so oda so a nothing, no foreplay or no near friend straight to the point into oda so na bibi aye ready na odi akoshe mu say na eno anu no sometimes in pono 2 minutes pen we wie na ofele say eno na ye sex no eno no ye friend torture. Normally sex is meant to benefit like what you were discussing. It's meant to there are so many advantages to it, but then say BBT say a scenario like this obviously will not benefit the woman in any way, so then it becomes like a horror movie. BB say, you know, to me a put off cry e binu so honoma to say na year can previously, you know, in the house to me did you attempts are no fair or foolish, stupid, say, we are of a say sex is part of my relationship, no about that was so sex has got in order for sex to be called sex, there are so many conditions that should be attached to it. And those criteria or conditions would need to be met before you can call it sex. And yet automatic, sir, men and women we all need to learn personal hygiene. Imbani baby wahonoma. When it comes to baby wahonoma, onjare twice a day. Obi nso wahonoma one bema nawo.
Can you call and I will come back?
Pardon?
Do you want to look after the child, then you come back on?
I think he will be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So in baby or honoma, and once they start having children, they start.
Kadi, a man a man can be interested pa bohoni bio.
Yeah.
Almost young box have been all their bedam panels just like that.
Money be so on back on boxes no crowd on wash it. Obi or honor beshan the boxes they said 3 days. On see okojwaria on chichini ho ye okojware okojware honum 1 minute pe no we wie edware no ne parts binom wo honum a on chichini ye, because from what I've heard no in Bema ne bebre wo honum a omo we Bema balls no honum etumi ye a full of residue inti no ubetwichi honum ye obetwichi ne na botiemu ye before sex kro obetwichi ne se mbema bebre wo honum a otwichi ne se anopa, even anopa sekra no obetwichi kra no seconds na odiewie we in our community. Even when it comes to the churches, me kaipa say when like I was younger and we used to go to church. Bemani baby or honor bad breath. Bemani baby or honor bad breath. I'm not pass sometimes. I'm not power call. I'm not pass service crown na or blow fuse. You know, inti say bema who say num chichino. You take time, ubechichi will send you, ubechichi teeth no inside. Na you will be a friend of flossing, ube flossing with teeth. When it comes to a num chichi crown, so no, it's not just about the teeth, it's also about the tongue. To brush your tongue very well, and then afterwards to use the mouthwash. Ni bibia, you take your time, because that's a put off. If you as a man you're not clean enough, it puts a woman off and sex becomes a torture, and what is meant for doesn't then get realized. So to have mouth hygiene, to have personal hygiene, and when it comes to atadia ubeshe also as a man at least wear a perfume, smell nice, you know, wear your cologne, have wash your hair, shampoo your hair, you know, go for these nice smelling shampoos, not smelling masculine nice and masana na my vibe no bibia, you know, orane bibia wo dem honum na aye fefe na aye, you know, Emma one kasa, you know, start to say feel bibi answer na bibi be happy cry na be money touch you, then you start melting or something. We who see Emma banesa na Emma to me rich orgasm and I say oh it to me yeah fine, you know. Ain't you know, yeah, that's what I've got to say for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I must have possibly because I'm Monty.
If you can please retrace what he says. If you can please like tell us what he says, then that should be fine.
All right, I will definitely do that. All right. Pastor Jacob on the idea actually do now. TM passing on it.
Yeah.
Pastor Jacob on it. Yeah. About the importance of sex, you know, he take a crack. Yeah, into your cohaka cranny, a bahaka crown, now grown. You know, now we can be now Susie by no can say or see migraine there because the meridian or say sex release a headache, you know, it mind, you know. On also said there be one here now or migraine now koya kotia faso, you know, we can be big a craft for one now the cannot was my another two being come.
No, perfectly true. Also, we are better now with high blood pressure. Also, how I will be see a corner.
Na money yeah harder. Now blood pressure. Obey.
Yes, now pressure be peaking, so bit me because we have some men who have actually died, you know, having sex. Also harder. Now I softer. Over na and one we woo. Oh yes, me next door neighbor was Ghana down Suma. Oh yeah, about the son I remember Piamu to hospital no, and they say hospital hotel no. Sana elmo. One of the small girls to call harder. No, I can't beat us being here man. Harder. Oba huana. Afishi wavake.
And the about Jacob, they not make us say the heart that really performs sex, you know, not muscles and also back on now penny side ding. Now the corner making sure say, you know, if your heart is not that stronger, how can you even do the 2, 3, 4 minutes? Because we ought to miss a man be there dance here or taste breath because 1 minute or pantisa you know.
That be and the one person who be who I saw tenase. Na speed no person okono. Na wakono sa. Enya sa obey okunafo. Ukumbe wage out. Ubekun because cardiovascular health need there. And heart attack normally nyamano. Dano krana meti say landing radio mo body row heart attack on the signs of having heart attack. Obu krana on any yere that gidi. Onya heart attack krana. The wife doesn't recognize that he's having a heart attack. And on that stroke, and you know, you have to know the health of your partner. And you see, you see, this is the point I'm trying to make. You can't have good sex always in life. And do baby, health status no, it be a cause of diabetes in yama. Well, and any other thing. It's important. Understand that things are not as they were before. And try with the long suffering and the temperance of God, no, bear it. Well, try and bear it. And they are very, very important because you see from into order, and we are living in the real life. But anyway, let's go back to 2 more benefits of a year. Better sleep.
Sleep. Making love brings better sleep. It gives you better. If you're manning a torch and nightmares and any man
yes, Anna. More house of only
the way I get the car, there's a how more
because die who be. I did you go and visit your pastor. I said, Pastor, I dreamt of cow in them. Meanwhile, the problem is that you didn't have good sex. Into good sex, the man will sleep and casano, say coma and the SMP because we Nipana have a good sleeper. And make me shorten our life. Because even
our die, Apostle Tubu, when me ask someone to also Ruben to be all that with me, and this to me 20, 100.
And the power I bet me shorten our life because even your eyes, Pono, in fact, it needs sleep in order for the water in the eyes, no, the humors to act well. And our brain to detoxify, no. Say never Pia Koso during the day, no. To detoxify, no, it needs good sleep. Well, into the body, now Kwakwa says Sabbath. Who say Onyankopon Titimremono, Old Testament on 6 days work, 1 day rest. Because the body has to reset itself through sleep. Well, into average sleep, and Kabeya power, and then they're busy world, into a better power, 8 hours sleep. Good.
Apostle be say a day na sex in itself and making love and me and be say my friends and sleep and say only obane day we are a day is into obane timid das and a beman to me have a good sleep.
And said that oxytocin, the dopamine and the endorphins was a dopamine say a pleasure hormone. Into who we are, you'll be a friend afterglow. Well, won't have it orgasm, we are not orgasm no cry no. Say, who have your orgasm? No, 30 parts of your brain are firing off. 30 parts of your brain into a major thing, but there's something called the afterglow. And no, yes, some be as anointing, but any anointing or as now why you find this well,
I'm just who says anointing? I say banana they do anointing.
Especially anointing, especially anointing,
especially anointing.
Afterglow, who was a wood that as a clouds be moved. Well, why come on? Why be beard the dean? Well, about now you can just fall asleep easily. Well, now
I would doubt me double call. Or some better than I don't say Simon, sir.
Well, I feel no. Immune system. Well, say COVID, yeah, born COVID, where no. Immune system was very vital because your immune system is stronger to me fighting a lot of diseases off.
Yeah.
Well, and I personally believe, sir, that's the reason why happily married couples they live long. Because the happiness nankasano, one say, you see, a merry heart doeth like medicine. A couple merry, one say, no maybe what and they ain't mean cappy. When you well, at say Drew into that's the reason why white people go for comedy show. Well, comedy or Cotina was 3 not just a depression, nyama efiniso. Well, into a strengthened immune system. Into when your immune system is strengthened now, of course, your health will surely be strengthened. Well, and I feel no sex, no smeka baku parka, not just a floor, no.
The Okan Baku see we say a boost to your immune system.
Yes, a boost to
immune system. Because Enkrofoko pet so bolonia boost your immune system and any idea the COVID in brain was boosting. Not just say that you have a very romantic atmosphere in making love a pleasure, no, it will boost to immune system.
Won't say. I mean, one day we'll talk about the body, ankasa, and the Bible. Because waiting in our Bible, because you say a sorrowful spirit dries the bones. We read Tahoa. We say Ima, woman read Tahono. Ya woman osteoporosis. Woman bones no, it me brittle. And the reason so, you see, a sorrowful spirit dries the bones. The reason being so is a part of your immune system no, is in your bones. It's in your bones. Well, we are depressed. Your body eats up calcium. Into your body, if it eats up the calcium, your bones become very brittle. And it leads to osteoporosis. Well, into another nyama pee. Well, nyama pee. And a bone and kasana me say the marrow produces white blood cells near there. In the Bible, it talks about the health, the state and the health. And it will be a friend, mind-body connection. Mind-body connection. Into Yari it comes from the mind. You know, if you are disturbed, fevers, being temperatures, being why confused, why depressed, well, so the mind, how the mind goes, in some cases is how the body also goes. Okay. Into when you are happy now, definitely, your body will be at peace. Well,
and let's say, immune system at the moment, you're boosting the idea. Lovely sex making, love making, yes. A very good part of many pediano.
Who say when you are happy, your body glows. When you are naturally happier, your face and your body glows. Well, and
I mean, can we find to the okay in this way? Proverbs 15 verse 22. Sorry, Proverbs 17:22. Proverbs 17:22. Or see, a joyful heart is good medicine, but depression drains one's strength. And you know, and after Proverbs 15 verse 13 to 15 say, a glad heart makes a happy face. A broken heart crushes the spirit. A wise person is angry for knowledge. And you know, the Awokas is saying, now you say, a glad heart makes a happy face. It is say, what have a very nice, lovely sex. And when it do wakumamu and a pure because I say a glad heart makes a happy face. Apostle.
Yes. Nti ba menka ba so ka sa hormone substance be released during sex here, oxytocin. Well, and oxytocin is what bonds a mother with her baby and bonds you as a couple together. And it's very important that the baby are having sex. Because when having sex, you grow apart. The bond will not be strong. Finally, it may dissolve. Well, in the sex, there is a regular oxytocin are creating bonding. And the bonding will strengthen the marriage. Well, and that's also Anna, the last one is self-esteem. Obi or having happy sex piano, yes, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have healthy self-esteem. I'm loved. Well, you feel you are loved. If your partner is having good sex with you, you feel you are accepted and you are loved. And it to me play in a lot of scenarios. And these are a few things.
Apostle, they are all kind of. Is it the case that the opposite is also true?
Oh yes, the opposite is also true. Well, the opposite is also true. I mean, early premature death, it can come from unhappy marriage. Well,
wow.
Because depression and cancer. I mean, one day we'll go into these things. Well, more studies be my well, and very important. And be important. And Mrs. Supi said that's the reason why white people invest in comedy. Well, baby, I need this three paper. No, I silly thing. No, I crack it silly joke because of new. You know,
the pass of a ye pescas as a comedy. Oh, dear, oh, ye pescas as a comedy. Now, walk away, Jimmy for Wakujan will be Jimmy now, or say, while Waku tears can I say. Yet, there were problems. Nim say what it does into the be near tense, near stress, near rigid, near ding oh. And a told us one was of young Kawi, would you have a foul idea? Meaning say any topic in India, but can you chip in an advice here? Look as if so be a Christonia. Na Saini Gieno, Efa and Nemoisem, not that right is been taken away from you. The obey be or crown. Na we said Nigerian to me may you one name no say one she near this su bonnet, sound holiness full we so we are bare bonnet. Oh, San Mano, I will be my dream. And then I catch you be on apostle.
Well, I think it's a very difficult topic because Titimimiako SU no. You know, the switch to not having sex to having sex is not an easy way because meaning Madame Fubia or a wife. I mean, what we honeymoon, he had to turn the air conditioning on. No person Obani Natalia just said that my air conditioner high.
Really?
Removing their clothes. Well, because one said the mind, the strongholds in the mind cannot be dissolved in one night. So what he has here, and Obu why a virgin a check and a good virgin. But you have to determine to learn because there's a difference between status, virgin status, and marriage status. And I'm saying, so the man who said, I mean, which I have two minds about, mom said therapy to me, boy, and well, because of you are so you raping, oh, you're raping, and I am molesting. England, memo yet, P was I've come across a lot of girls at church, fine girls, but who called me now in the bone, Yamia Samabaka just said they molested her. Sao Bano. I never saw any Pabonio, but sex when some a stigma concerning sex. It's not her fault. Into who's a bema bapa now I have frigid. Well, in things like this, prayer, fasting, and therapy also can help with counseling. And it's not as easy. A lot of understanding near it. But I'm specifically before 1 minute. I worry. When we marry, we must determine to fight for our marriage, and we must determined to understand because when a serious thing because even Obisa Martin Luther King, it will shock you. Said once Martin Luther King was fighting for civil rights, he had up to about 40 affairs.
14 affairs. 40
affairs. For women. Well, it was a great man or great things, but area no ayewe. Well, ye man paying be bonidin. So, who said what call baby. Well, but he was concerned that he had a happy marriage. It is when they say, come on, Sam. we must determine to understand one another in the atmosphere of love.
What a powerful statement. Nana. Chipping na Obaka San Bemang no back into we are not apostle Eric City.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with Apostle Jacob that it's a lack of sex that causes men to cheat. That one, I don't think I agree with that. I think it's a character issue there. But I think he also tapped on something.
Do you think that it also leads to it's also tempts people to act that way? Sorry. Do you think that lack of it and also open certain doors and one thing leads to another and it makes things easy?
I understand that, but I think that unless you have done a survey randomly and then have spoken to these men to find out that they were behaving the way they were behaving because it's a lack of sex in their marriages or in their home, then we really don't have an answer.
No, we've done the survey.
But I think based on what I know, a little bit that at least I've read, usually that is not the case. It's an issue that it goes deeper than just not a lack of sex. But anyway, I think that's a different topic for a different time. At the same time, for instance, even Mr. Martin, for instance, if you want to go deep into why, especially, you can narrow that into probably the men in the African American society here in America. We know that during the slavery, they used to pass the men around to actually impregnate the women. That was a practice that was done during slavery. That's why a lot of them even have a hard time staying with one woman. We know that. So I think that one goes a bit deeper than that. But I just wanted to tap on, self-esteem. He mentioned self-esteem. Man, I think it's extremely important that women, we develop self-esteem for ourselves. I don't think that, men wants to be married to somebody that they are always very self-conscious. You are not confident within the skin that God has blessed you to have. Or there's nothing wrong with enhancement if you feel like that's what you want to do. I personally, don't subscribe to that. I will rather work out and get a different shape other than to be healthy, other than going under the knife. So everybody, thinks differently. But I think it's very important that you maintain yourself. It's very interesting that we see how when we are not married, we dress sexy. And how, we take care of ourselves because we are trying to catch somebody. And the moment we catch them, the next thing you will see, the woman and the man. And sometimes it looks like the woman is way older than the man because a lot of times she has allowed herself to go. I know it's not easy once you have children and, we gain weight and all that stuff. But you have to know that for men, they are the creatures of eyes. So the same thing that you did to attract him, you must maintain that once you're married, right? At least you have to try as possible to be able to maintain that. I think that is all part of the healthy sex life. Because if he married you when you were size 8, and then now you have 2, 3 kids, and we know, I understand we gain weight and all that stuff, but now you are like 22, that's a problem. No amount of counseling is going to change that. Probably you need to hit the gym, right? You need to hit the gym. You need to probably cut your eating. You have to have a total maybe lifestyle change. It's also healthy for you. You're not doing it for him alone. It's also healthy for you. You'll be able to really live longer, and you want to be married longer. You want to be able to be around to take care of your children. So I think that is also very important that we maintain, ourselves as women, as we found spouses and stuff is part of their, healthy sex, lifestyle. I think that, I'll go to Sister Kathy. She mentioned something earlier that, she was talking about the hygiene and the cleanliness. But there are some women that like a little bit of funk, There are some women that likes a little bit of funk. Hey, you're a construction worker. You just got home. You're sweaty, and I'm in the kitchen cooking. Hey, how about a little quickie? There's nothing wrong with it. So, I'm just saying. So I'm just saying. Spontaneity in sex life is also very important. And I think Apostle was saying how people go into comedy shows. I love comedy shows. Vegas has the best comedy shows, my goodness. And then so it's good to take time to do some of these things. But vacation also is very important. I crave change of atmosphere. Me, I can even just leave my house and go somewhere for just a day. And when I come back, my mind is just renewed. I feel like when I can travel, I can go nowhere. I am confined. So it's very important to do small things, and all these things you can do it because it costs money to do it, but sometimes it doesn't cost anything. Just getting in your car and just taking a quick drive, right? Drive to maybe your local pool area, go to the park, have a lunch at the park, right? Just do something small. Take your children with you. This is not only for people that are married without kids. You need to actually incorporate your children into some of these things because you're also building them up and they're learning what love is, right? So you don't do these things and then you cut them off. That is the problem that we are having in our community because we were really, I don't know about everything, but we were not really taught what love is and what marriage is, and we are having to learn these by ourselves. So I'm hoping that our generation, the generation that have kids, that have been blessed enough to have the exposure to the knowledge and to things to be able to learn, we will share that with the next generation so that the same thing doesn't keep repeating itself. So you want to be able to incorporate your children into some of these activities so they also get to see how it feels. It's good for your children to see you kissing each other and loving on each other. It's actually healthy for the kids. They do better at school because it's a good atmosphere at home. Yeah, it's a good atmosphere at home. All these things are very good. It's part of raising family. I believe it's part of God's original plan in the Garden of Eden. So now that Jesus has saved us, we are born again, tongue speaking. Let's just practice some of them at home, right? So that at least we can have a little bit of that still while we are here. And, while we are blessed enough to be married. That is my opinion on that one.
Fantastic, Nana. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. People, please, if you have just joined, click on the share button and invite families. We're talking about the importance of making love, the importance of sex, and all comments are very important, and we're so grateful for your time. So please click on the share button. If today is your first time here, we welcome you. That you follow the platform LMLS McAbani Ministry, and I believe it's going to be a blessing. So anytime that we come on live, you get notification. Very important. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel, McAbani Ministry. It's very important. But first of all, please click on the share button. Let us invite families. This is very, very important. We need this education. We need understanding. And you're free now to fear. No, it's not about blaming anybody, but it's about learning and asking yourself, how am I going to make things better from tomorrow going or in the future? Very important. That is why we are here. We are not here to blame your husband and my husband, you, my wife, you, the onion. What must you do to bring him on board? What must you do to bring her on board is very important. It's not about time blaming and saying, so be our effort. So we read panties a wash and madam Pemenyofa. Bomodia Nefanico say Alzheimer's and as a Fanuco Victoria's Secret. Now, why dear Nimun Toby Manor? One woo bear man at all. Or bar, send ya catimendi sky. Bearman, madam Pemwa, Jobri. One, or course, Chokutobi, Kakrakabi, no one yakono. Me pacho Bomodia. The copper Kevin Klein, na copper other we boxer shop, nice one. Or shout to me say, pennies ne casa everywhere. Very important. No at all. Eddie Abreno. Now I say, Beman and Yatin Unimians and was sharp. who say next time saka kraka bi na say bola no umpe the access slim fit in tonto bi na no oh obekwa akoto so that's it and I say woni ni nkokuru na kas oh we efe pa oh ni man get oh na ye na itime boost relationship ma say di pano da ho na ne ho ya kono so wo hwe na say okunu wo nwi bebreti se me a oh ma mi nkoja oba abai oh na ne ko na ma hwe se ni oh so nya abutre o we na yesua o no nya abutre no why ne kakra ebeyi so say you are bringing the best out of the person but o criticize it and now o kicking it down you won't get anything out of him or her so Pastor Eric.
Yes. Apostle and me some doors Apostle Robbie but your question now ubisa beginning no Pilani, hitting some point ni me pepe si hitting whole year. Oh, yeah, cover no. What
okay, Catherine is mute or where you know now. That's yes, fantastic. Yeah.
Apostle Broby question no stay hono kakra because I very very important and I really want to thank God for Pastor Jacob for the scientific side which is very very important. You who the benefit of sex was that side now and then no me see a year a dahoni and no yahu that side no as see who near Apostle Broby Aircan, I said the communication in sex between husband and wife. No, is it limited to certain areas? And I can be beer. We can talk about everything because
on our platform, no,
there's no limit. There's no limit. Be beer here. Na our real etimi esipi na ume woni gina misu meni gino. The area made me feel say race coming up no na majimu no omo aka say unhealthy, right? For instance leaking. Okay, now our real no oba no so no ne background na oba no also feel say that's what why at that point no she's still in it that's what makes her excited
Romans 12, renew your mind.
Exactly. Because there are certain things that the Christian faith, I want to say evil. And there be a chiwa say our because the fighter it may not be about anything, it may be about this things. Of course. Who knows what they are doing?
So for mommy beer or Facebook bonidin. Bonidin no teaching ma and a ma we are bonnet and some probably all kind of beginning here starting Facebook. We make up a near the adi. Also for Pastor Jacob Bonnie need them sex pole is you are or dear near Mama Nikunu.
So
what catching for some put to make up on sex polo. I was strepwa. Now what done and minim the way and say Buddha malice was so you was see sex pole on the bedroom. It mean may catch them for them. You know, senior pastor, you have no idea. And to more be majina home make it can say Mubi and Fancho, while Brent found go hell. Ye careful no worry no what dear home. The Nikunu pen were yet was see sex pole or the catcher will say, oh, dear, we are lake and I be hell. Now, sex pole, dear, we be heaven. Oh, it was Sremo near 80 min for unco hell, Nidia. No one yamia Samon Kayano. Men will be Mekavishi beer or free hin or Bekansim Hubia and the Abadada wagon. Any pastor can patch it to us.
You so for me, I say last week now Apostle Jacob came about leaking the area and hygienic man. There are scientific, goes with that. As in everything. It says all of these things. But the point is, say, I think, say, we have limited sex to penetration in the body, until when the man is not performing well now, the man feels very depressed because the woman is not being satisfied, and the man has not really, been educated about the other areas. You can satisfy the woman. For instance, a very good example also. Penetration is not the only sex. As I say, my health and your crana, makonum, chompecho, and I say whatever it is, almost friend or just to come and prove myself, say me a bema, Debbie, you are making a mistake. You can get. What about fingering? Fingering is part of it. Playing with the woman's nipple is part of it. Touching, kissing, all of those things are a part. Sometimes, you can go that for hours. I'm gonna cry. Say, what penetrate you open to this and now or bano. It feels like it's about 3 hours sex because you've incorporated everything. But in the area, also say, you're weaker. 2 seconds and not 3 seconds because what do you say penetration and non then you are putting yourself in trouble. The other things are ubetimi ama obani enia geno because moon discussing what do you say? It is just one way, and because you haven't been able to satisfy the woman in those areas, and the woman's body, is being created for them for that enjoyment, for everything to be, handled very well. But you have no knowledge of it, and you are misplacing and misusing and misapplying the woman's body, which has been given to you to enjoy.
Misplacing,
yes, misplacing everything, and the woman is craving for it, but you haven't. Also, like Kati, Obana, you haven't given yourself, something else to even attract the woman. Now, Kati, this is what I would say to or ma also. Say, be etisa crapuna. Me feel say Obana, right? At that time, need to say no, yeah, in Gary answer, Oba. No one can say, oh, honey, what do you see you could drive together. So, we say, so, no, got down at Channel, got down on Channel. It's a simple cost at bathroom. No one you could drive together. No one you must not together. Let's say, baby, crown or own me tree and I areas now, old me tree, so my main gyro. No one gyro, no what you do here, man. But if you don't communicate, how would you know? So, communication now, Pastor Bobby Ekano. Is very, very important. There should be no limit. You should talk about everything, discuss whatever works for you guys, and make sure, say, you are making use of it in the marriage. Because there's going to be a problem. And that problem is, Debbie, Ephesians 5:21, submitting yourselves one to another, it's part of it. Communication, kasa, can you open your own pay, in the sex, right? You talk. Do you like it? How is it?
The reason why in Tiankofon Kasane say a man be media dance your platform is to say Omukasa men man so must say pa in the SNOA it zips them up. To me express yourself because our background and if you say pa a year a man say Omuni men be bradida. We okra just by educating we see and kakra we ready kakra. Of course, Okofans when you're virgin, we who 1 or 2 big kakra, all communicated to you, no. A man money lebu man mostly. When it's coming from a man and not a man man so munye bibia. A man in the problem accepting it. But when the women want the men to do something, say man the men are 100 and you are that or must say it because of that, the woman will prefer to keep quiet, save her face, be respected, and stay like that. Those in any angel or prefer no than say Nikuni so a prostitute. It happens all the time.
So then that is not marriage. And that is the problem we are having with your culture and your background of raising, marriage couples. Because as a mate. What I say, because me fa where okay Ephesians 5 now, or say, therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be subject. Okay, and or say, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it. We, a man, must sanctify the wife and cleanse it and present it to ourselves. If the problem, and I say, you are doing it to yourself. You are not doing it to her alone, because okay, say yes, obey me, no, baby, together, a show, a movie show, and now whatever. Both of us, we are learning ourselves. Now in the marriage. I don't think that is even right. I say Obano responded to love making and so what say now and you're sorry finish so no go pay a hall. Yeah, because I mean no go pay only one. No go pay one because you need the days of Moses. Moses time I say you so offer Obana say on your virgin we are not in those days.
Okay, right. Mamin Kasem we na osofo bo asem bi so we dem e ka twam kwa min ko in details maybe you be ko in details efa before say bibia because penetration be taking place, you can be thinking about kissing deeply, and can there various types of kissing. We thinking about touching. Now we are thinking about kissing, touching. We're thinking about caressing, modern panosokrano, hugging, deep hugging, more panosono, we're thinking about fingering, thinking about
with clean hands,
licking,
fingering with very clean hands.
Fingering or licking. What do you say? And sana penetration aba. Bema unim de o ye no muntiase wadwuma ne san de we na take place on bed.
Can you repeat it, please? Repeat.
We talking about kissing, touching, hugging, caressing, licking, fingering before and sana penetration. If these 6 steps did not take place, no back at you so when you satisfy, no way before.
Hey.
Nani who was off nani who abba nani body I dead and on the way ye. It is because of kissing. It can take about 10 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Kissing and kwa orgasm. What I say? And not touching body ni baby. The one I don't say can baby or yeah roll on parasol. No one say a soft spot into touching or now caress your banwa. So we way na ye penetration no so a year for 10 seconds or ban your gas in the crew near what you because the open beer bidding in Saka. Penetration is not a problem for them mostly because if you go through all this process, we'll be also saying last week, Pastor Jacob Kaino, we are waiting pam for about 10 minutes. Pacho Ukunya Juma Ewo Timba. Ontimi mabuya sa niema we na meye pam ade wo ye we na wo ye wunya orgasm na aka so ni o feeling we ya wasa be pam for 10 minutes enye possible to me sira ma wani so process because ye must a kiss and take 10 minutes now there ye ma example keke na touching mu na na mun ko hiu touching keke another 5 minutes. Also, when you're 15,
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
5 minutes.
And any caressing keke, or caress your bano. Oh, what the hug, one man intimate hug. Just say, we now take place also for 1 hour.
That's love making. Love
It's
making.
talking
Anything
about
love making.
strongly more than half an hour on bed before penetration. Or bed be a weak, or bed be a soft, bed be a happy. Me and Candy or Band crowd the bear no, and Ukraine Maho. And you know, these are the things we can discuss it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have this environment now, it can take over an hour before penetration. Muye we na sinem common in the muna mudim common amo sre. Men prepare wo. Oh, it was a one day I hear off day. Munya da at least once a week party. Send another kind of be a quick one, panamo de call. Papa, they will say, yeah, because Pastor Jacob said we cannot have that environment all the time. And they will say, you. But when that is created now, maybe once a week, you know, whatever way more time with you, no more passo, Munim said, Ramon Kobe, Mudim Komona, mo Sereno Makisika crack, Namudim Komona. Oh, are you beautiful? And Namuna, my dear.
Yeah, Ampa.
We just listening to you.
One of the things, as you say, right? Sometimes the change of location cry is very important. And they be them, change location, hotel, baby, you know, more farm, you've gone together. There's so many ways of making, also love making. Marking or love making. Okay, it is a making.
Yes. Well, I think one of the people that probably did it very well for us was Obama, President Obama and the wife. They used to have date nights, you know. He was even the president of the United States. They have date nights and they will dress up and go on a date and then they will come home. I think that is how they were able to maintain their marriage under what was probably very stressful and, you know, time and being on a public eyes all the time. So I think it's very important that you take time, you know, for yourselves and to be able to work on your marriage. I think other than that, it's likely not to be successful. And then we have to know that taking time, all of us are learning here, taking time for yourself, there's nothing wrong with taking time for yourself. You know, we seem to go and go, but we don't take time for each other. And another thing that probably this is very controversial, but who else is good at talking about controversial topic but me? I can just say it and leave and never come back on the platform. Hallelujah. I think it's very important that people that are married, when children comes in, they don't replace your husband. Women, come on. The children do not replace your husband.
Nana, that is not controversial at all. You just hit it on the nail.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't replace your husband with your child. It's a mistake. It should never ever happen. And
Absolutely.
you cannot replace your wife with your daughters or whatever. No, don't do that.
And then, you know, it's like, now I have kids. My priorities are my kids. They spend everything that they have on their kids, their time, their resources and stuff. But guess what? The children's supposed to leave. You know, so if you're really talking about the divorce, you know, the divorce, especially in America, the highest divorce rate is the empty nesters. The empty nesters are the ones that now their children have left home, gone away to colleges and stuff like that, because she was a soccer mom. She did everything, follow the kids around and completely ignore the husband. And now that the kids are gone, they don't know each other. They don't have anything in common. So now it seems like everybody else, he's going here, she's going the other way, or they're trying to come back together. And a lot of times it doesn't work. So please, it's so important. I understand that children are important. Children are our future. I am under the belief that they should be raised to a certain. I told myself that nobody above 18 is going to live in my house. I'm sorry. Lord Jesus, maybe I'm horrible, forgive me, but I'm going to raise you to that point, but I'm going to give you what you need. And then when you go to college, you need to finish college. and then you need to be whatever I need to do to help you to be able to sustain yourself out there. Please, let's just do it. Because, one of the things also that is in our community, in our culture, probably we are numb to it because that is how it is, because we come from environment that we don't have the ability to move around. So it could be like the whole 4 or 5 generation living in one home. And the stresses that comes with it. But if you're really talking about the Western culture, some of these things really works. You raise the children, you help them, and at a certain time they're supposed to be able to also go there and do something, also raise their family and stuff, and then they come together once in a while, and then you get to mingle with everybody. It's a healthy relationship that way. But these days they have children. The children have become their priority. I'm doing this for my kids. Now they don't plan with their husbands anymore because now their children are priority. They are planning with their, the future of my children. Well, how about if you did not have children? Would it have been the same way? So it's extremely important that once you have children in your marriage, you don't replace your children with your, with your marriage. Your husband is still your husband. I believe children are the blessings or the fruits or the bonus that comes from being married. Because there are people that are married that are not blessed to have kids, and they have beautiful marriages. So I think it's very important. And then we need to stop asking people when they're married, when are you going to have children? Not everybody wants to have children, and there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, Kathy, you go. Then after that, Apostle, our time is up. Then Osofu Dube will have the last one. On the Obekasa 1 hour cry channel because and on Sheda and Country, near Sheda and Tene voice. I pray said never Castanya Betia. Maybe I'm a voice. Minim Dintia Moma can mountain voice. So Kathy, the floor is for you. Then after that, Osofu Dube will have the last one.
I think it's not deliberate women, prioritizing their kids. I think it's because the workload taking care of kids is quite a lot. And a lot of men are not thoughtful and considerate at all. So then all the workload then tends to be on the woman, and she finds herself doing everything. And at the end of the day, sometimes the women get exhausted, said that they don't have time for the men. So oftentimes it's not deliberate. So in as much as I agree with you to some level, I wouldn't want to give off any energy or anything to a man who doesn't help me.
Which means, Kathy, that the man is not playing his role as a husband in the house.
Yeah, so that's what they get. If you're not supporting me as a wife, you're not considerate. I had a conversation with someone the other day who hasn't got children with her husband, but that she could go to work, go for a 12-hour shift, come back home, and she comes to meet the husband having piled up dishes and everything just being as she left it when she was leaving for work, and even worse. And this is just like a man and a woman living together without children. So you can imagine what would happen if they then start having children. If she does laundry, the man would not care to take out the laundry, nothing.
And even dry them.
Pardon?
And even dry them.
No, not even to take them out of. He just pretends he's not seeing anything going on. The woman literally does everything at home. Literally does everything at home. He doesn't lift a finger. The woman has got some medical conditions. She's the one who cooks. She's the one who cleans. The man would leave dishes for her to come and wash. So these are some of the things that put off women. I'm not sure. When we had a conversation, I was like, so is this a relationship? And then she said to me that she is in this relationship because she thinks she might not find anything better. But then if she's sure she could leave this relationship and she could explore and she could have a better man, she will do. So she's in there because of something. She's not there because she's she fancies how the man is treating her. And then, so when it comes to love making, it's just pretense. A lot of women fake orgasms, they fake having, loving whatever is going on with sex, but then it's just a lie.
Well, man of God, I want to say something that she just tapped on, and I think is very important that we know that a relationship is cause and benefit analysis. I think probably Apostle Jacob did not touch on that, but we know that the more costly it is, the likelihood for the person to leave. The more beneficial it is, they are likely to stay. So we have to make sure that there's a balance here. This doesn't sound like it's a balanced relationship. And
that's what is happening in most marriages.
Yeah, see, that is the issue, because it looks like this is these gentlemen, and we are nodding his head, but we can probably deduce from what you're saying is that he's somebody that is, he has a certain cultural belief that probably when it comes to the household things that nobody does, a man doesn't touch them. Yeah. And I don't necessarily think that as a woman, you walk away from such marriage because of that. I think these are some of the things that can be worked on if he's willing to go through counseling, or if he's willing to be a bit open-minded and get somebody in that can come and then maybe help shape some of these beliefs. Because if you walk away from it, if he's good, he's a good provider, he does all the other area, but he doesn't help surround the house, do you throw that away?
Yeah, but then obviously from what we see these days, women are also meant to financially contribute. It's a must, because when it comes to a country like the UK, it's quite difficult for a man to be the only earner. And it's just reasonable for a woman to also bring on the table some money. But then culturally, a lot of Africans believe that some responsibilities are for women. So, and they are not meant to bend. They are not willing to bend. They feel like by bending, they are spoiling the woman, or their egos are being trod upon, stuff like that, silly stuff like that. Yeah. So that's where it becomes quite difficult for them to even realize they're doing anything wrong. And if they have to do something wrong, their friends will tell them, look, if you do compromise, what you're doing is you're spoiling the woman.
I think as of this particular relationship, we know that they don't even have any process of love making. It's like, are you ready? Let's just hit it and just call it a day.
Yeah, but that's
I think what we can do, we can have a discussion on that.
Yeah, that's the reality that faces a lot of
women. A lot of women, that is true.
And that's
they see that reality, especially in abroad. So I think we can take that as a subject and discuss it in detail, because also you dim come over and some doors when it comes to these things, and you can see a shape you are, it will blow your mind. It will make you think, say, so what are you still doing in this relationship? And I think that we have to find time to discuss this. On this note, and I think that we will do part 3 next Tuesday about the importance of sex, because
but before then, I would like to touch base on a few subjects. I feel like a lot of men presume, okay, he's gained experience in some areas whilst growing up, and so we just presume his current partner will just like a particular type of sex, a particular way to be handled without consulting. So some of them, there was a time I was watching a video and someone hit something which was quite funny, but it's relatable, where men don't even know how to touch women. Some would touch women's nipples and stuff like they are winding a radio station.
A battery.
Only now boil down to when love is in operation.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like that, I think so.
And I think what she was trying to say also is that everybody else is unique in what turns them on.
Exactly.
So every man needs to learn what turns their partner on. And I think I would say this to empower the women. Look, you are allowed, once you're married, you are allowed by the Holy Ghost, by Jesus Christ, to be a freak. So be a freak all you can. And if your husband think you're a prostitute, so be it. You got to be able to enjoy yourself. Other than that, you're not going to leave your marriage and go outside. So all your sexual experiences or whatever you want to experience, you should be able to bring it there. And I think even if he's calling you a prostitute while you're getting it on, that is even sexier. Hallelujah.
Before also brother Kasa, my child, a man more platform. So I some say no mo ye be a man can. She men Kasa many, but majority of men and no money jehum. Sana mekan ya wasofa kese wa ha tiem yiu mu a yesi mo asɛe no mu na mema pese mo na mo tena more than Roman sisters mo amoafo no oh the way pastor recommend me say they make an no correct papa man na me say yesi mo ye freak mutimi ye bibia bi odem no mu na mema ni gye mo ho so oboton so omoton so okwa asoriu so onkwa asoriu me na me ka kire wo mo Bible nti be tina pulpit no so a no mo preach ye different but for them ube
hypocrite
yes of ma me be ye no wo yam be show so yes of ma me oboton me na me ka kire
hypocrite ne does too much. That's a problem.
Me say yes of ma me be ye no oba na hunu no ye din a be ka so nkasa wo du wura dem a wo yam be show enti Memma ni innocent na faith the way innocent the more sorry for na mo person yes and yes amamu oni ni kuru ra dem way different ti me srew mun susun tie nkrofo bi o mo keka nsem bebre na ngu aware na e wo de a wo na be ma ni hu no ware wo nyo obi foforo ti me srew if you be nasty you are not nasty for anybody you can walk a freak ni you can nasty o ye nasty be nasty for your husband and you are nasty for your wife. Simple as that. And Pastor Jacob Meboa.
Sir.
Oh, objection be a raise you.
Others are one for the other, we won't feel some objections. Let me see.
Only senior citizen was because you say who approve.
Long experience.
Who experience in more duty and you push you, sir. It's your bush for Miss Remo, a sanity. It wouldn't be panosenia, Nana Kayan. What will you kumu yami any jimo? Share, be freak, be nasty, are legal within God's frame, because you can't want to say. And my 2 entrances, but illegal, but your friend say no, and the call.
Do not enter.
Into the who here, men margin my team, and my
question. Some question. On your cancer say, it is a okuni or you not say, they didn't say, and no so, me penonsua now on your name.
Oh, that you on pet. Oh,
you are assuming for somebody. Okay, there's somebody listening. There's somebody listening who needs an answer to this.
No, we must be very clear.
Make guys a new. Wait, what?
No, let's address that.
Unya constipation. Now we call toilet here. Now I'm straight never one. The way now we call Papa.
You. The question is
let's address this thing. The thing is anal we talk about anal sex. Now anatomically, no, that place was not made for sex.
Yes.
naturally and anatomically, you know, it was
you treated that for another time, Anna, because okay, yes, I summarizing Kakrebi Mine.
exactly summarizing.
Now was off grouping for last one in
Anatomically, you know, that place was not made for having sex, you know. So we both rahua, over say nyama bebre. Well, it's no.
I don't can never me repair a say what maybe so much me bo pampas.
The friction.
The anal sphincter, no. Well, I did tighten, you know, at one, crack it.
Oh, can there be some motor boy?
Into a boy. Bibia said, baby, not that place, no nature. Romans chapter 1, Romans chapter 2, it talks about nature, and then it talks about things that are against nature. In a more crown porno, woman yet, unless we could share 0.001% here, I just say, one of my bottom no. And a tune so no, Nyankopon echiwade. Sodomy nyami echiwade. And you know, we a Christo near, I know dear, I was saying.
I was saying,
I'm doing it, I know say sodomy. If a man and a woman is doing that, yes, it is sodomy. It is sodomy. Or baggery. Not a profane friend, baggery.
So for this is my question there. If that will break the marriage, not say Obani say only again, it's not like bibia omoye normally say bia a home kwan offer anal sex now omofa there. That's not what we are talking about. We're talking about say in a particular romantic day, all right, that comes up not say in the pleasure of everything, no, the woman will say, "Oh, let's do it." There. Is that's what we are talking about? Not like the beer, adia, and all that.
Next Thursday. You better prepare free ha. Near the end where we minimum what is happening to. Also, Robbie.
I want to say something funny. Oh, there's a comedian called Andy Griffin. I don't know if you all know him here in America. He's a very funny guy. I went to, see him one time. I was in Vegas. And I don't know whether it's appropriate, but he said it there. He says that if we want to know who are killing children, we should hold the gays responsible because how they are murdering children. Here you are, all of a sudden you go and then you make love. And then here is all this sperm coming, expecting to meet egg. But instead, the audio meeting is a whole lot of bullshit from them.
Can I say something, please? So I would just want the audience to brood over this question, whether if you're having sex, whether you're having good sex or bad sex.
Okay.
Like until we meet next week Thursday.
Next week, we will discuss that.
To deliberate, like each of us, all of us, to think about it, whether we having good sex or bad sex. Yeah.
That's a powerful question. Good sex or bad sex? And good love making or bad making?
Or bad love making.
Susie, me pacho next week we'll be joining. And me pacho I watch your internet today.
And Asasika wanted to come on.
Asasika I think that she's at work and she couldn't come on. I don't know why.
Okay,
so family, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. We still have Pacho panels. Thank you all for joining the broadcast. We're so happy to have you here. We're so grateful those that have shared our broadcast. We're happy and we say God bless all of you. God bless all of you. If you haven't liked our page, just follow our page, Makaba Ministries, and share the program around. We just want to educate ourselves. We just want to empower ourselves, build our families. That is the intent. And that is why we have gathered here. And we're spending time with our family here right now. And we believe that marriages are being restored and things are working. And we all know what to do to make sure that we put laughter in our marriages and our spouse are happy and everything. I just want to say thank you to our panelists all the time for their time, their dedication, and the support that they come here, the information they want to share, so that we can all be a blessing and have a peaceful and a loving life. So thank you all for being here. We're so grateful, especially those of you that are family. You come here all the time, you write comments, you bring an idea and all that. Sometimes you chip in 1 or 2 here to make us come back and discuss your point and all that. We are all contributing to growth, to maturity, and we thank all our people that watch and those our commenters. God richly bless you all, and we love you all. Stay blessed. Thank you, and bye bye. No, panelists, please stay. Don't go anywhere. Stay. So I'm just